ভাই একাই এখন বেঁচে আছে, যার হাতে প্যারাফাল গানটা আমরা দেখলাম। এন্ড টিম ইলেক্ট্রোর গান কম্বিনেশন আমার চমৎকার লাগতেছে, কারণ ওদের অনেকজনের হাতে যেমন টিম সিটের হাতে আমরা দেখতেছি।
এখানে এখানে
ইয়েস
ইয়েস ইয়েস রিঙ্কু ভাই, এখানে কিন্তু যেটা জিনিস বলার অপেক্ষা রাখে না সেটা হচ্ছে যে ইলেক্ট্রোর উপরে কম হইলো।
ইয়েস, এখন বলি আমরা হয়তো আমরা মিনিমাম খেয়াল করছি টিম 5 ছিল উপরে, টিম 5 এর পাল্লায় জেবিটুয়াল পড়ে গেছে। যেখানে ইনফিনিটি জেবিটুয়াল
দিয়ে বলা যায়। তো এখানে টিম রায়ট কিন্তু প্রচন্ড অ্যাগ্রেসিভ, তারা দুইজন ডাবল ভেক্টর নিয়েছে এবং ডাবল ভেক্টরের খেলা কিন্তু আমরা দেখছি দুজনের কাছ থেকে। ওকে, এখানে কিন্তু রায়ট মারুফ কিন্তু ডাউন, তাকে হিল করা হবে হয়তো, বা হিল করে ফেলা পসিবল হবে। টিম সায়ানাইট করছে, টিম সায়ানাইটের সাথে কিন্তু আমরা দেখছি 12 নম্বর টিমও একটু দূরে আছে। তো এখানে কিন্তু টিম সায়ানাইট ভার্সেস রায়ট একটা ফাইট দিচ্ছে। রায়ট কিন্তু কোনো ম্যানকে এখনো পর্যন্ত হারায় নাই, সায়ানাইটে কিন্তু একজন মেম্বার নাই, আমরা সেটা জানি, একটু আগেই দেখেছি। তো দেখা যাক এখানে কিন্তু ওকে ওকে হ্যালো পিপুল, কি অবস্থা সবার? চলে এসেছি এফএফবিসি 2021 এর একেবারে ফাইনালে, গ্র্যান্ড ফাইনালের দিনে কিন্তু আমরা চলে এসেছি। আপনাদের সাথে আছি আমি আহমেদ অনন্য মাসুদ, আমাদের সাথে আছে সারফারাজ, বুচার্স আউটল এবং ইলিউশনিস্ট ভাই। হ্যালো এভরিওয়ান।
হাই হাই,
হ্যালো,
কি
হ্যালো,
খবর
হ্যালো।
সবার?
তো
এই তো
গাইস আজকে
রিঙ্কু ভাই ভালো আছি। কি অবস্থা আপনার?
এই তো ভালো আছি সারফরাজ। বুচার ভাই কি খবর আপনার?
ভালো আছি। আপনাদের কি অবস্থা?
এই তো নাইস।
আচ্ছা। তো গাইস আমরা হচ্ছে যে ফাইনালে চলে আসছি। ফাইনালের ১২ টা টিম কিন্তু আমরা অলরেডি জেনে গিয়েছি। আমরা সবার উদ্দেশ্যে একবার ১২ টা টিমকে বলে দিব। আমাদের সাথে আজকে ফাইনালে ফাইট করবে B26, আমাদের সাথে ফাইট করবে অ্যাম্বুশ স্পোর্টস, টিম রায়োট, GB12, টিম জেনন, টিম এক্সট্রিমেক্স, টিম ইলেকট্রো, টিম ইনফিনিটি, এজেন্ট, দ্য জবব্রেকার্স, টিম রেজ অ্যান্ড টিম সোয়াগ। সো এই ১২ টা টিম আছে এবং আজকে কিন্তু তারা তাদের প্রত্যেকেই কিন্তু যেই ফাইনাল যে মুকুট বা ফাইনাল যে শিরোপা চ্যাম্পিয়ন, সেই ট্রফির জন্য কিন্তু সবাই লড়বে। সো ডু you guys any favorite have today? রিকু ভাই।
আ
আই থিংক এভরিবডিজ ফেভারিট মাসুদ। এখানে যারা যে টিমগুলো খেলতেছে এভরি টিম ইজ ফেভারিট রাইট নাও। তারা টপ 12 এ আছে বর্তমানে। এত স্ট্রং একটা পজিশন, এতগুলা ম্যাচ খেলার পরে ৮-৯ টা দিন শেষে এন্ড আই থিংক সবগুলা টিমই ফেভারিট। আমার কাছে তো সবগুলা টিমই ফেভারিট মনে হচ্ছে এখন বর্তমানে।
ইয়া
বুচার,
একদম তাই। লাইক আ প্লিজ
সারফারাজ।
না। না আমি হচ্ছে একটা জিনিস বলতে চাই যে আ মানে এই ১২ টা টিম যারা আজকে খেলতেছে আমাদের এতটা একটা পথ পাড়ি দিয়ে আসছে এরা সবগুলা। লাইক সবগুলা স্কোয়াডই কিন্তু এখানে অসাধারণ এবং বেস্ট অফ বেস্ট একদম মানে মাস্ট সে। একদম মানে আমি কিন্তু বলতে পারি এক কথায় যে বাংলাদেশের টপ ১২ টা টিম আমাদের কিন্তু গ্র্যান্ড ফিনালে আছে।
অবশ্যই। সো বুচার্স কোন ফেভারিট?
আ না, আজকে আমার কোনো ফেভারিট নাই। সো সবারই আজকে ভালো, ভালো নিজেদের ওন স্ট্র্যাটেজি প্ল্যান আছে, নিজেদের ওন প্ল্যান আছে। সো এখানের মধ্যে আমার আসলে ফেভারিট কথা বলে এখন কিন্তু কোনো লাভ নাই। কারণ আমি একজনের ফেভারিট হিসেবে সিলেক্ট করলাম। ওই স্কোয়াডটা হয়তো উইন না হইতে পারে, নাও হইতে পারে, চ্যাম্পিয়নও না হইতে পারে। বলা যায় না। সো আমি আজকে নিউট্রাল থাকবো।
সো আমরা কিন্তু মানে বলতে পারি যে আজকে কিন্তু কিছু টিমস আছে যারা কিন্তু লিগ ডেতে অনেক ভালো পারফরম্যান্স করে আসছে। সুপার পাওয়ারফুল গেম প্লে দিয়ে আসছে। সো সেদিক থেকে কিন্তু আমরা সর্ট আউট করতেই পারি। কিছু টিমের উপরে কিন্তু আমরা ফোকাস রাখতে পারি। সেটা যদি আমরা বলি তাহলে আমার সাথে হয়তোবা সবাই আপনারা একমত হবেন। টিম আর রায়োট আছে, জব ব্রেকার্স আছে, এজেন্ট আছে, B26 আছে এবং আরো কিন্তু টিম আছে আমাদের সাথে যাদের উপরে কিন্তু আলাদা করে ফোকাস সবার রাখতে হবে। এরা কিন্তু যখন অ্যাগ্রেসিভলি খেলা শুরু করবে বা পজিশন ধরে খেলা শুরু করবে যেকোনো পজিশনেই, তারা কিন্তু একটা চান্স তাদের দিকে থাকবে যেটা আমরা লিগ ডে তে দেখে এসেছি। রিংকু ভাই?
স্ট্রং অপোনেন্ট যেই নামগুলো বলেছ মাসুদ ভাই, সবগুলো স্ট্রং অপোনেন্ট এন্ড এগুলা ফুল টুর্নামেন্টে এত সুন্দর, সুন্দর খেলা জোবেকার্স এর যদি স্পেশালি বলি, জোবেকার্স যে টুর্নামেন্টটা খেলা দেখিয়েছে টোটাল ওরা এক্সপেরিয়েন্স সবচেয়ে বেশি আই থিংক যেগুলো আছে এখানে সবাই এগ্রি করবে এই বিষয়ে। জোবেকার এক্সপেরিয়েন্স সবচেয়ে বেশি এন্ড অনেকগুলা টুর্নামেন্ট ওরা খেলেছে এন্ড এই লেভেলে তারা মানে স্ট্রং অপোনেন্ট। আজকে ফাইনাল ডেতে আসলে তারা স্ট্রং অপোনেন্ট। সো অবভিয়াসলি জোবেকারকে সব টিমেরই উচিত একটু খেয়ালে রাখা যে এই টিমটাকে একটু ওয়াচ আউট করে খেলতে হবে সবারই। অ্যান্ড বাকি যে টিমগুলোর নাম বলেন, রায়োট বলেন বা যে বাকি টিমগুলো ওরা কিন্তু এই টুর্নামেন্টে অস্থির খেলা দেখেছে। সো অবভিয়াসলি ভাই ওরা স্ট্রং পারফরম্যান্স রায়োট তো অবভিয়াসলি ৪ টা বুয়ে নিয়েছে একই দিনে টানা তাও আবার। সো অবভিয়াসলি ওই টিমকে স্ট্রং দুর্বল মনে করা খুবই ভুল হবে, বোকামি হবে। স্ট্রং সবগুলা টিম স্ট্রং এখানে।
একদম ঠিক তাই। মানে টিম আবার আপনারা যদি ভুলে যান তাহলে কিন্তু হবে না। আমাদের টিম ইলেক্ট্রো আছে, টিম ইনফিনিটি আছে। একই টাইমে আমাদের টিম রেজ আছে, টিম সোয়াগ আছে। যতগুলো স্কোয়াড আছে এখানে কিন্তু সবগুলো বেস্ট অফ বেস্ট। সো আর
ইয়াপ,
এখানে যতগুলো স্কোয়াডই আছে তাদের একটা জিনিস আমার সবথেকে বেস্ট লাগে যে তারা অবশ্যই তারা বেস্ট এই কারণে আজকে এখানে আসছে এবং তাদের মধ্যে সবথেকে একটা জিনিস ভালো যে তাদের যে স্কোয়াড মেটটা আছে তাদের মধ্যে আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিংটা খুব ভালো, তাদের মাইন্ডসেটটা খুব ভালো, তাদের যেই মানে জোন রোটেশন বলেন, তাদের স্ট্র্যাটেজি বলেন, পুরোপুরি গেমে কিন্তু তারা এতদিন পর্যন্ত নিউট্রালাইজ করতে পারছে বলে কিন্তু এখন পর্যন্ত আছে। তাদের স্কোয়াড থেকে হ্যাঁ অবভিয়াসলি সবগুলা ম্যাচে তো আর একই রকম পারফরমেন্স থাকে না বা ড্রব্যাক থাকে সবগুলো স্কোয়াডের, বাট তারা কিন্তু তাদের স্কোয়াড কম্বিনেশনটা আমার কাছে সবথেকে সবসময় বেস্ট লেগেছে। আর সবসময় লাগে। আর যদি এই যে কথাগুলা বললেন আপনারা যে আমাদের রায়োট টিম B26 বা আমাদের এজেন্ট সবগুলো স্কোয়াডই বেস্ট এখানে কি বলবো আসলে তাদেরকে ডিফাইন করার মতো আমার কাছে কোনো ওয়ার্ড নাই। কজ তারা কিন্তু এখানে সবাই অসাধারণ। ইয়াপ।
অবশ্যই, অবশ্যই।
আজকের দিনটা মাসুদ ভাই যারা স্টার্টিংটা শুরু করবে না আজকে ম্যাচগুলা তারাই কিন্তু বোঝা যাবে আসলে না আজকে এই টিমটা একদম ফুল প্রিপারেশনে আছে বা ল্যান্ডিং বলেন বা যেগুলো বলেন ওগুলো থেকে আসলে বোঝা যাবে যে কি হচ্ছে কাহিনী।
ফার্স্ট ম্যাচটাই ইম্পোর্টেন্ট। সো এটাই
ইম্পোর্টেন্ট।
কথা। আমরা কিন্তু অলরেডি ভালো পারফরম্যান্স দেখে এসেছি ফ্রম টিম এজেন্ট, রায়োট, জবব্রেকার্স এরা। কিন্তু আমরা যদি অন্যান্য টিমগুলার কথা বলি সারফারাজ লাইক অ্যাম্বুশ স্পোর্টস, GB12, এক্সট্রিম এক্স, ইলেক্ট্রো মাত্রই সারফারাজ ইলেক্ট্রোর কথা বলল। টিম ইনফিনিটি আছে, টিম রেজ আছে, টিম সোয়াগ আছে। এরা কিন্তু প্রত্যেকেই কিন্তু ভালো পারফরম্যান্স করেছে। কেউ হয়তোবা আ আ প্লে ইনস থেকে এসেছে। বাট সবাই কিন্তু তাদের যোগ্যতা কিন্তু পারফরম্যান্সটা শো করে এসছে। সবাই কিন্তু এখানে বেশ কয়েকবার বুইয়া নিয়েছে। GB12 ভালো খেলেছে। সো এখানে আমার কাছে যেটা লাগছে যে আজকে কিন্তু ফার্স্ট ম্যাচ যেটা রিংকু ভাই বলল যে ফার্স্ট ম্যাচটা কিন্তু খুবই ইম্পোর্টেন্ট। একটা ক্রুশিয়াল জিনিস হবে কিন্তু প্রত্যেকের জন্য। ফার্স্ট ম্যাচে আজকে যারা ভালো করবে, যারা বুইয়া নিবে তাদের কিন্তু একটা আলাদা লেভেলের কনফিডেন্স থেকেই যাবে।
ইয়াপ।
সো আজকে টুর্নামেন্টের জন্য কি কোনো স্পেশাল স্ট্র্যাটেজি কারোর মধ্যে থাকবে নাকি? এটা কি মনে হয় আপনাদের সবার? যদি বুচার্স এর কাছে জিজ্ঞাসা করি। বুচার্স।
I think I will carry this in English because I'm not talking about only FFBC, and this is for every players. And I'll take just 3 minutes. And so, there are some suggestions that I want to share with you, everyone. And these are the snipers. I'm talking about those snipers in every squads, and every squad has a sniper right now, and they are most important and valuable squad member in a squad. But unfortunately, every squad, 90% of those snipers gets killed in before or after fifth zone actually, because there are some lackings of their sniping in their sniping actually, and one of them is not changing their drop loadout. Number two is getting advancing before their teammates, and number three will be not having those strategy. আমার মনে হয় যে এখানের মধ্যে ফার্স্ট অফ অল একটা কথা হচ্ছে যে এখানের মধ্যে স্নাইপারদের কথা যদি বলি, স্নাইপারদের মেইনলি যারা স্নাইপিং করে এখন সবার টিমের মধ্যে কিন্তু একটা দুইটা স্নাইপার থাকে। আসলে কথা হচ্ছে এখানের মধ্যে তিনটা পয়েন্ট আছে, কারণ তারা কিন্তু তিনটা পয়েন্ট, আমি সবগুলো পয়েন্টগুলোই খেয়াল করছি। আমি গত ফুল লিগ ডে যেগুলো খেয়াল করছি ওগুলোর মধ্যে কিন্তু বেশিরভাগের মধ্যে আসলে বলতে গেলে কিন্তু মেইনলি আমাদের যে স্নাইপাররা আছে যারা স্নাইপিং করে বেশিরভাগ তারা কিন্তু তাদের ড্রপ লোড আউটটা চেঞ্জ করে না ফিফথ জোনের পরে, কারণ আমাদের মনে হয় যে স্নাইপিংটা আসলে ভালো ফার্স্ট চারটা জোনের জন্য কিন্তু আসলে কিন্তু অনেক ভালো স্নাইপিংটা। বাট আমাদের যখন জোন শ্রিঙ্ক হইতেছে, জোনটা শ্রিঙ্ক হওয়ার সাথে সাথে কিন্তু আমাদের জোন যখন শ্রিঙ্ক হচ্ছে তখন প্লেয়াররা কিন্তু ক্লোজিং করতেছে, সার্কেল ছোট হচ্ছে, প্লাস আমাদের প্লেয়াররাও ক্লোজিং করতেছে, তখন কিন্তু অ্যাডভান্টেজটা বেশি থাকে না। ইভেন দুই ধরনের স্নাইপার আছে আমি যদি বলি। Number one is extremely good at sniper. Number two is they are the learner, like new learning. They're learning their sniping skills. But if you think about the first safe zone, the safe zone is real big, and sniper can take some real good shot and cover their team for a long time. But unfortunately, when the zone shrinks for fourth zone, actually after this fourth zone, so the zone is very small and the player are combined and they are all real together. And right now it's a massacre situation. So I think the sniper should change their drop loadout, and the sniper will, from my side, they have to change their role from a sniper to a supporter, because sniper they place real good shot, they do some real good shot, but unfortunately after fourth or fifth zone, the zone will be small and the player will be all around them. So it will be better for them to change their drop loadout and not using those double sniper. And I think it will be an assault or a sniper, and it will be an MGL, mini grenade launcher, like M79, and another one will be a Groza or AK for some long range shot in last fight. And that will be all snipers. I I think that's
এক্সাক্টলি,
be
এক্সাক্টলি।
all.
এই জিনিসটা আসলে অবশ্যই চিন্তা করা উচিত। বিকজ যখন জোন শেষের দিকে চলে আসে একেবারে ক্লোজ রেঞ্জের ফাইটে কিন্তু কিছু স্নাইপার প্লেয়ার থাকে যারা ক্লোজ রেঞ্জেও অনেক ভালো খেলে। রিংকু ভাই হয়তোবা সারফরাজ আমার সাথে একমত হবে। যারা কিন্তু ক্লোজ
Yeah,
রেঞ্জে অনেক ভালো খেলে।
this. I think there are some real good players in FFBC right now, and some of them are real good at sniping. But some of them actually trust their sniping skill so much that they place this with the sniper rifle for those last save zone. And unfortunately, আমি যদি বলি যদি স্নাইপার রাইফেল ইউজ করার মধ্যে বেশি স্কিলফুল না হয়, বেশি যদি নিজের ওয়েপন স্কিলটারে ট্রাস্ট না করে, তাহলে কিন্তু আমার মনে হয় যে লাস্ট ২টা সেফ জোনের পরে কিন্তু আসলে আমাদের লাস্ট সেকেন্ড যে সেফ জোনগুলো আছে ফিফথ অ্যাকচুয়ালি আই এম সরি ফিফথ যেসব সেফ জোন আছে ওগুলোর মধ্যে কিন্তু আমাদের স্নাইপারগুলো চেঞ্জ করা উচিত। কারণ হচ্ছে আসলে ভালো শট দেওয়া যাবে না। কারণ ক্লোজ রেঞ্জের মধ্যে যদি বেশি ভালো না হয় তাহলে কিন্তু আসলে শটগুলো ডেলিভার করা যাবে না।
অবশ্যই,
তো
অবশ্যই।
বেসিক্যালি ব্রুচার আসলে বলতে চাচ্ছে যে এরকম যে আপনি লাস্ট ১ম সিঙ্ক হওয়া পর্যন্ত, সেকেন্ড সিঙ্ক হওয়া পর্যন্ত আপনি আপনার কাছে স্নাইপিং রাখেন, সমস্যা নাই। লং রেঞ্জ একটা ব্যাকআপ দেন। বাট যখনই আপনার ক্লোজ কমব্যাটে আসতেছেন তখন স্নাইপিং গুলা মানে চেঞ্জ করে ফেলে আপনার অ্যাসল্ট তুলে ফেলেন বা এসএমজি গানে সুইচ করে ফেলেন। তো যাতে
হুম।
আপনাদের টিমের জন্য সেটা শর্ট রেঞ্জের জন্য পারফেক্ট হয়। সো বেসিক্যালি ব্রুচার এটা বলতে চাচ্ছে। বাট হ্যাঁ, মাসুদ ভাই আপনি যেরকম করে বললেন যে আমাদের অনেকগুলো স্কোয়াডের মধ্যে আমরা দেখছি যে শর্ট রেঞ্জেও কিন্তু অনেক ভালো, ভালো স্কোয়াড খেলছে। সো বুচার এটাও মেনশন করছে যে ২ রকমের স্নাইপিং থাকে। যারা এখন পর্যন্ত শিখতেছে, ওভার কনফিডেন্স হওয়া যাবে না। কজ এটা কিন্তু লাস্ট চান্স থাকবে আপনাদের জন্য আজকে। আজকে কিন্তু আপনাদের লাস্ট চান্স থাকবে। সো ওভার কনফিডেন্স হওয়া যাবে না। সো মানে টিম ওয়াইজ আর সময় ওয়াইজ সেটা আপনাদেরকে মেইনটেইন করতে হবে। সেটা আপনাদেরকে ম্যানেজ করতে হবে, আপনাদেরকে বুঝতে হবে। সো সেইভাবে আসলে গেম প্লেটা আজকে করতে হবে। সো
সো
মাসুদ ভাই
রিংকু
আপনাকে যদি
হ্যাঁ।
বলি যে আপনার কোন ফেভারিট কোন টিম আছে নাকি আজকে?
আমার ফেভারিট সিঙ্গেল টিম আমি বলব না। বাট আমার নজর থাকবে আমি ৩ টা থেকে ৪ টা টিমের উপরে আমার নজর থাকবে যে তাদের কাছে কিন্তু একটা পসিবিলিটিস আছে। বিকজ তারা সেই পারফরম্যান্সটা কিন্তু গ্রুপ ডেটে বা লিগ ডেতে দেখিয়ে এসছে। এবং সেটা যদি আমি বলি তাহলে বলব এজেন্ট আছে, জবব্রেকার্স আছে, B26 আছে। আ এই ৩ টা এবং আমি যদি সাথে বলি রায়োট আছে। তাছাড়া আমরা এক্সট্রিম এর থেকেও কিন্তু মাঝে, মাঝে ভালো খেলা দেখি। যদিও এক্সট্রিম আমাদের প্লেইনস থেকে এসেছে। সো এইগুলা টিমের উপরে আমার একটা নজর থাকবে বিকজ দে আর ভেরি স্ট্রং ইন ফেস টু ফেস ফাইট। এবং তারা কিন্তু জোনটা ধরাতেও কিন্তু অনেক বেটার। কারণ একটা জিনিস সবসময় থাকে রিংকু ভাই বা সারফরাজ ভাই আপনারা দেখবেন যে অ্যাম্বুশ স্পোর্টস এর কথা আমি যদি বলি বা আমরা যদি আ আ আ ইনফিনিটির কথা বলি, এরা কিন্তু ফেস টু ফেস ফাইট এ অনেক স্ট্রং। এটা কিন্তু ফেস টু ফেস ফাইট এ অনেক স্ট্রং। বাট অনেক সময় যেটা হয় অ্যাম্বুশে রিংকু ভাই যে ওরা কিন্তু অনেক সময় জোনটা ধরতে পারে না। অনেক সময় কিন্তু তারা লেট রোটেশন করে সমস্যা হয়। যার কারণে কিন্তু আল্টিমেটলি যে তারা কিন্তু বুইয়াটা নিতে পারে না। সো আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে ফেস টু ফেস ফাইট এর সাথে কিন্তু যেই টিম গুলার নাম আমি ১ম এ বললাম যে এরা কিন্তু একটা স্ট্রেংথ এদের থাকবে। এরা কিন্তু জোনটাও ধরতে পারে। সো দেয়ার ইউ গো। রিংকু ভাই
হ্যাঁ,
আপনি যদি কিছু বলেন এই ব্যাপারে।
আমার একটু সবচেয়ে মজার বিষয় এবার মানে লাস্ট আজকের কিতে সবচেয়ে বেশি ফাইট হবে ক্লোজ রেঞ্জে বিলিভ মি। কারণ সবগুলা টিম কিন্তু ক্লোজ রেঞ্জে পারদর্শী।
হ্যাঁ,
মেক্সিমাম কয়েকটা টিম
এক্সাক্টলি,
বেঁচে যে স্নাইপার আছে। বাকি যতগুলা টিমই উঠেছে উপরে সবগুলা ক্লোজ রেঞ্জে পারদর্শী টিম। A to Z যদি সবাই একটু খেয়াল করেন সবগুলা টিম ক্লোজ রেঞ্জে। আমরা যতগুলা দেখেছি জোবেকার্স, রেড যতগুলা আছে এজেন্ট ক্লোজ সবগুলা ক্লোজ রেঞ্জে। ইভেন ডাবল ভেক্টর যে কি পরিমাণ ইউজ হবে
ইউজ
আজকে
হবে।
ফাইট
ইয়াপ।
এটা শটগান M18 এন্ড স্নাইপার obviously হবে বুচার যেই টিপসটা দিয়েছে যে at least লাস্ট জুনের দিকে একটা স্নাইপারটা একটা স্নাইপার যদি প্রয়োজন মনে করে তাহলে রাখুক। প্লাস সাথে একটা ক্লোজ রেঞ্জ বা শর্ট রেঞ্জ একটা গান রাখুক আরকি। এটা আসলে
এক্সাক্টলি।
ইম্পর্টেন্ট একটা টিপস। আশা রাখি ফলো করবে অনেকেই জিনিসটা।
এক্সাক্টলি। সো এখানে
এক্সাক্টলি।
কিন্তু আরেকটা ম্যাটার আছে যেটা রিংকু ভাই মাত্রই বলল যে শর্ট রেঞ্জ এ ফাইটের জন্য কিন্তু এখন একটা মোস্ট এলিমেন্টাল জিনিস হয়ে গিয়েছে সেটা কিন্তু ডাবল ভেক্টর। যেই টিমের কাছে ডাবল ভেক্টর থাকে সেই টিমের কিন্তু পারফরম্যান্স বা বলেন কনফিডেন্স বুস্ট আপ সবকিছু কিন্তু অনেক হাই লেভেল থাকে এবং আমরা কিন্তু বিগত দিনগুলাতে কোন টিমকে ২ টা ডাবল ভেক্টর দিয়েও খেলতে দেখেছি। টিম রায়োটকে যদি আমরা বলি সেটা মেবি লিগ ডে ৫ কি ৬ এ ছিল। তারা কিন্তু ব্রাজিলিয়াতে যেই ৩ তলা বিল্ডিং ছিল সেটার নিচ তলায় ২ টা ডাবল ভেক্টর নিয়ে তারা খেলেছিল এবং ২ টা স্কোয়াডকে একই স্থানে তারা কিন্তু ওয়াইপ আউট করে দিয়েছিল বিকজ অফ দ্যাট পাওয়ারফুল গান। সো আমার কাছে কিন্তু এটাও মনে হয় যে প্রতিটা টিমের কিন্তু এই জিনিসটা মাথায় রাখা উচিত যে আমাদেরকে স্নাইপারেও যেরকম একটা স্পেশালিস্ট রাখতে হবে, ডাবল ভেক্টর স্পেশালিস্টও কিন্তু কাছে রাখতে হবে। অনেক সময় মনে হয় যে না ডাবল ভেক্টর ইজ এ ভেরি স্ট্রং গান আমার কাছে থাকলে আমি এটা ভালো চালাতে পারবো। না, ডাবল ভেক্টরও কিন্তু স্পেশালি ভাবে ইউজ করা লাগে রিংকু ভাই। আপনি যদি আমার সাথে একমত হন।
ইয়াপ আছে
ইয়াপ,
আছে জাস্ট
একদম।
রিলোডটা খুব তাড়াতাড়ি হয়ে যায়। ওই সময় কি করা লাগবে সেটাই মানে ইম্পোর্টেন্ট
এক্সাক্টলি।
আমার
আ
ফায়ারিং শেষ। আমি কি ওখানে স্টিল দাঁড়ায় থাকবো নাকি ওখানে রিলোড করব নাকি গ্লোয়াল ইউজ করব বা গ্লোয়ালে ফাস্ট হতে হবে। না হয় এখান থেকে পালাতে হবে বা টিমমেটের ব্যাকআপ লাগবে। সো ওই সিচুয়েশনটা মাথায় রাখা উচিত আরকি। যে ডাবল ভেক্টর ইউজ
একদম। ডাবল ভেক্টর এমন একটা জিনিস যে আপনার কাছে ডাবল ভেক্টর লাইক শর্ট রেঞ্জের একটা ওয়েপন। সো আপনি ডাবল ভেক্টর আপনার স্কোয়াডের কাছে দুইটা রাখছেন, দুইজনকে ডাবল ভেক্টর ইউজ করতেছেন শর্ট রেঞ্জের জন্য তারা খেলতেছে। সো আপনি যখন একটা স্কোয়াডের জন্য গেট কিপিং করতেছেন, লাইক একটা স্কোয়াড জোন থেকে আসতেছে, তাদের উপর যখন আপনি ৪ জন মিলে যখন একটা মানে ইয়ে করবেন, যে একটা পাওয়ার ক্রিয়েট করবেন মানে ওয়েপন দিয়ে, মানে অ্যাসল্টার দিয়ে, যেটা দিয়ে ক্রিয়েট করবেন, সেটা কিন্তু আপনি ডাবল ভেক্টর যারা দুইজন থাকবে তারা কিন্তু সেটা ক্রিয়েট করতে পারবে না। সো একটা যেমন আপনার কাছে মানে অ্যাডভান্টেজ থাকতেছে, সেরকম একসাথে ডিসঅ্যাডভান্টেজও থাকতেছে ডাবল
Things has
ভেক্টরে।
pros and cons এটা অবশ্যই।
সো
সো গাইস আপনারা যারা এখনো আমাদেরকে দেখছেন তারা হয়তোবা জেনে গিয়েছেন অলরেডি আজকে ফাইনালে কিন্তু লাইভ ওয়াচিং ৩০,০০০ কমপ্লিট হলে কিন্তু আমরা সবাই পেয়ে যাব অসাধারণ সুন্দর আমাদের বাংলাদেশীর গর্ব, আমাদের বাংলাদেশী ফ্ল্যাগ কিন্তু আমরা পেয়ে যাব। সো বেশি করে সবাই শেয়ার করে দেন, বন্ধুদেরকে জানিয়ে দেন। বেশি করে সবাই ভিউ করতে থাকেন। ৩০,০০০ ভিউ আনলক হয়ে গেলেই কিন্তু আমরা সুন্দর ফেস মাস্কটা পেয়ে যাব। সো আর কোনো লেট নাই। এক্ষুনি আপনারা সবাই এটা শেয়ার করে দেন। সো
একদম।
সারফারাজ আমার একটা কথা আছে এখানে যে সেটা হচ্ছে যে আমরা কিন্তু দেখে এসছি যে সমস্ত টিমই অনেক ভালো করছে। তাদের পাস্ট রেকর্ড সবকিছু ভালো আছে। তো এফএফবিসি এই যে এত বড় একটা স্টেজ কিন্তু আমরা বাংলাদেশের আগে কখনো পাই নাই। তো বাংলাদেশীরা আমরা এত বড় স্টেজ পাচ্ছি এবং আপনারা সবাই হয়তোবা জানি গাইস যে এফএফবিসির যারা চ্যাম্পিয়ন হবে তারা কিন্তু অনেক বড় সুযোগ সামনে পাইতে যাচ্ছে। কি সুযোগ সেটা আমরা এখনো জানি না বা সামনে আমরা জানবো। বাট অনেক বড় অপরচুনিটিস তাদের সামনে আসছে। সো এই ব্যাপারে এফএফবিসি যে আমাদের প্লেয়ারদের ক্যারিয়ারে বা ফ্রি ফায়ার গেমিং ক্যারিয়ারে যে কতটুকু ইফেক্টিভ এই ব্যাপারে যদি আমরা কিছু জানতে চাইতাম তোমার কাছে।
লাইক আমাদের এই এফএফবিসি মানে বাংলাদেশ চ্যাম্পিয়নশিপ ২০২১ এইটাই কিন্তু আমাদের বাংলাদেশের জন্য ১ম হচ্ছে গেইনার তরফ থেকে অফিসিয়াল ভাবে মানে সাজানো একটা ইভেন্ট। সো এইটার মাধ্যমে আসলে বাংলাদেশের কমিউনিটিতে অনেক বড় একটা স্পোর্ট কমিউনিটিতে আরকি অনেক বড় একটা চেঞ্জ আসছে। সো এইটার কিন্তু প্রাইজ পুল আপনারা সবাই জানেন যে ২৫ লক্ষ টাকা সবগুলো স্কোয়াডের মধ্যে ভাগাভাগি হয়ে যাবে এটা। ঠিক আছে? ১৩ লক্ষ টাকা আমাদের ফার্স্ট প্রাইজ থাকবে। এরকম করে ক্রমাগতভাবে সবগুলো স্কোয়াড আমাদের যে ১২ টা টিমই খেলতেছে সবার মধ্যে একটা প্রাইজ পুল থাকবে। সো একটা বিষয় আমি যেটা বলতে চাচ্ছি যে আমি সবকিছু স্কিল-টিস্কিল সবকিছু বাদ দিয়ে মানে সবকিছুর ঊর্ধ্বে যে আমি একটা কথা বলতে চাই যে আমি যদি বলি কেরিয়ার হিসাবে, যে কেরিয়ারের জন্য একটা ১ম আমাদের যে আজকে যেই স্কোয়াড এখানে ফার্স্ট হবে তারা কিন্তু পাচ্ছে ১৩ লক্ষ টাকা। সো ১৩ লক্ষ টাকা একটা প্লেয়ারের জন্য বা একটা একটা স্কোয়াডের জন্য সেটা কিন্তু হিউজ অ্যামাউন্ট। সো এইভাবে আমি যদি দেখি, এই দিক থেকেও যদি দেখি যে না শুধুমাত্র হচ্ছে গেম প্লে বা অন্য কিছু না, জাস্ট আমি এই দিক থেকেও যদি দেখি তাহলে আমাদের এফএফবিসি
কথাটা যদি
আমাদের
চিন্তা
জন্য
করি।
কিন্তু অনেক বড় একটা মানে চেঞ্জ চলে আসবে। আর আমরা সবাই চাইবো, আমরা সবগুলো স্কোয়াড চাইবো আমাদের মানে লোকাল যেসব স্কোয়াড গুলো আছে যারা আন্ডারডগ আছে তারাও কিন্তু চাইবে যে না আমরাও একটা ক্যারিয়ার করি, আমরাও এভাবে একটা মানে আমাদের একটা ইনকাম সোর্স বা যেটাই বলেন সেটাই কিন্তু একটা হয়ে যাবে স্পোর্টের মাধ্যমে, ফ্রি ফায়ারের মাধ্যমে। সো এইটা আমি বেশ কয়েকটা স্কোয়াডকে দেখতেছি এখন জাস্ট তারা র‍্যাংক গেম প্লে বা র‍্যাংক পুশের জন্য গেম প্লে করতেছে না। তারা জাস্ট স্পোর্টকে প্রাধান্য দিচ্ছে। সো এফএফবিসি এরকম ভাবে মেন্টালিটি মানুষজন বা প্লেয়ারদের মধ্যে সেট করে দিছে মাসুদ ভাই।
আমি সারফরাজের সাথে পুরাই একমত সিরিয়াসলি। সো obviously এটা ভালো একটা প্ল্যাটফর্ম। obviously প্ল্যাটফর্মটা ইউজ করবে সবাই। অ্যান্ড সিরিয়াসলি নিবে। অ্যান্ড যেটা দেখে মনে হচ্ছে সবাই সিরিয়াস। আই মিন যারা এখানে আছে বর্তমানে যারা দেখতেছে কি রিসেন্টলি এখনই দেখতেছে যারা অনেকে সিরিয়াস যে না ঠিক আছে। উই হ্যাড এ স্কোপ। স্কোপটা ইউজ করতে হবে। তো দেখা যাক
নেক্সট
ভবিষ্যতে আরো
টুর্নামেন্টে আমরাও আসবো এখানে। সেটা সবাই এখন কিন্তু স্বপ্ন দেখা শুরু করেছে।
ইয়াপ।
বুচার্স?
হ্যাঁ, আসলে আমাদের মনে হয় যে এফএফবিসি টা আসলে অনেক ভালো একটা ইম্পোর্টেন্ট রোল প্লে করছে এতদিন পর্যন্ত সব প্লেয়ারদের জন্যই। কারণ হচ্ছে আজ পর্যন্ত যতগুলো স্পোর্টস টুর্নামেন্ট হইছে সবগুলোর মধ্যে কিন্তু বাংলাদেশ পার্টিসিপেট কিছু জায়গায় হয়তো অতটা ইয়া হয় নাই। কি বলবো? অতটা বিস্তার হয় নাই। বাট এখন আসলে ফ্রি ফায়ার যেভাবে একটা স্টেপ নিছে, হিউজ স্টেপ একটা নিছে, ওটা আসলে একটা আমার মনে হয় যে স্পোর্টস গ্রো করার জন্য কিন্তু আরো অনেক বড় একটা ভূমিকা রাখবে।
ইয়াপ।
সো গাইস আমরা কিন্তু আজকে আমরা ফাইনাল দেখতে চলে এসেছি এফএফবিসি 2021 এর একেবারে ফাইনাল ডে। আজকে কিন্তু আমরা পেয়ে যাব আমাদের চ্যাম্পিয়ন টিম এবং তাদের জন্য কি অপরচুনিটিস ওয়েট করছে সেটাও আমরা জেনে যাব শিগগিরই। সো আর বেশিক্ষণ লেট নাই, একটু পরে আমাদের ম্যাচ শুরু হবে। আমরা জয়েন করে ফেলবো ম্যাচে। সো যারা এখনো লাইভটা শেয়ার করেন নাই, বন্ধুদেরকে জানান নাই, তাড়াতাড়ি শেয়ার করে দেন। বিকজ আপনারা সবাই জানেন ৩০,০০০ লাইভ ভিউ ওয়াচিং কমপ্লিট হইলেই কিন্তু আমরা পেয়ে যাব সুন্দর একটা ফেস মাস্ক, আমাদের বাংলাদেশী পতাকা। সো বেশি করে সবাই শেয়ার করে দেন এবং লেটস এনজয় দ্য ফাইনাল। ছোট্ট একটা বিরতির পরে আমরা কিন্তু ফাইনালে জয়েন করব গাইস।
ইনফিনিটি এন্ড সোয়েগের মাঝখানে এলএমসি একা পড়ে গেছে। একাই স্কাই শুট আছে, সাথে শুভ আছে, দুইজন মেম্বার নিয়ে এলএমসির স্কোয়াডটা মুভ করতেছে ইনফিনিটির দিকে। আনফরচুনেটলি শুভ ভাই একাই এখন বেঁচে আছে, যার হাতে প্যারা ফাল গানটা আমরা দেখলাম। এন্ড টিম লেকটর গান কম্বিনেশন আমার চমৎকার লাগতেছে, কারণ ওদের অনেকজনের হাতে যেমন টিম সিট আছে আমরা দেখতেছি।
এখানে
ইয়েস
ইয়েস রিঙ্কু ভাই, এখানে কিন্তু যেটা জিনিস বলার অপেক্ষা রাখে না সেটা হচ্ছে যে
এখন বলি, আমরা হয়তো আমরা মিনিমাম খেয়াল করছি টিম 5 ছিল উপরে, টিম 5 এর পাল্লায় জেবিটুয়াল পড়ে গেছে, যেখানে ইনফিনিটি জেবিটুয়াল খেয়ালই কই নিচে তোর উপরে টিম 5 আছে।
ভবলীলা সাঙ্গ হয়ে যাবে নিঃসন্দেহে বলা যায়। তো এখানে টিম রায়ট কিন্তু প্রচন্ড অ্যাগ্রেসিভ, তারা দুইজন ডাবল ভেক্টর নিয়েছে এবং ডাবল ভেক্টরের খেলা কিন্তু আমরা দেখছি দুজনের কাছ থেকে। ওকে, এখানে কিন্তু রায়ট না মারুফ কিন্তু ডাউন, তাকে হিল করা হবে হয়তো বা হিল করে ফেলা পসিবল হবে। টিম সায়ানাইট করছে, টিম সায়ানাইটের সাথে কিন্তু আমরা দেখছি 12 নম্বর টিমও একটু দূরে আছে। তো এখানে কিন্তু টিম সায়ানাইট ভার্সেস রায়ট একটা ফাইট দিচ্ছে। রায়ট কিন্তু কোনো ম্যান
কি হবে, টিম অ্যাম্বুশ কি এবারও বুয়া নিতে পারবে কিনা, আশা বসা থেকে মনে হচ্ছে নিয়েই ফেলবে, বাট দেখার বিষয় টিম জেনন কি কিছু ড্যামেজ দিতে পারে নাকি। ও টিম অ্যাম্বুশের একজন ডাউন, মাসুদ ভাই টিম জেনন সিপাত ভাই সুন্দর হেডশটে ডাউন করে দিয়েছে, ফিয়ারলেস ডাউন, জেনন অন ফায়ার, গড স্পিড কে ডাবল ভেক্টর দিয়ে, ও দেখলাম গড স্পিড একাই বেঁচে আছে, এখন টিম সাইনারও একজন আছে, স্পার্টানকে দেখতেছি আমরা, হোয়াট উইল হ্যাপেন
খেলার
ও
ইলেকট্রো আছে এবং জেবির স্কোয়াডটা কিন্তু একসাথে দুইটা স্কোয়াডের ফাইট দিচ্ছে আমাদের, একই সাথে জেবি 12 এবং ইলেকট্রো টিম ইলেকট্রোর সাথে একসাথে ফাইট দিচ্ছে এবং বলতে কিন্তু টিম ইলেকট্রোর উপরে কিন্তু রাশ করে ফেলেছে এবং আমাদের নাইম আলম কিন্তু জাম্প শট করেছিল বাট ড্যামেজ দিতে পারেনি এবং সে কিন্তু নিজেও ড্যামেজ পেয়ে গেছে এবং এখনো পর্যন্ত একটা শট টার্গেট করতে পারেনি এবং শাট ডাউন হয়ে গেছে আমাদের টিম ইলেকট্রো এন্ড ইটস নাও 3v1 সিচুয়েশন।
ইয়েস, কি করবে জোবেকার্স এখানে বাঁচতে পারবে নাকি বাঁচতে পারবে না। নাইম চিতার অ্যাগ্রেসিভ গেম প্লে ডাবল ভেক্টরের, আই থিংক নেভার মাইন্ড ডাবল ভেক্টর ডাউন, একজনকে অলরেডি কনফার্ম এন্ড ফ্লিপস কে দেখতেছি একটু অফ, ফ্লিপস অলরেডি গন।
এখানে রেজ আছে, রেজের একজন ম্যানকে হিল দেওয়ার পসিবিলিটি আছে, হিল দিয়ে ফেলেছে। টিয়ার সাবমিট ডাউন, এখানে আমাদের সুপারম্যান ডাউন, 2 ভার্সেস 2, আমাদের 2 ভার্সেস 1 অ্যাকচুয়ালি। 77 এমডির হাতে শুধু ডাবল ভেক্টর, এখানে সে একা কি করবে গাইস, তার দুইজন টিমমেট ডাউন, এখানে তার কিছু করার নাই। এখানে শর্ট রেঞ্জে যদি না আসে, এটা ছাড়া আমাদের 77 এমডি ভাই কিছু করতে পারবে না। এখানে কিন্তু ব্লু ওয়ালের উপরে অ্যাটাক চলতেছে, M8 1 ভার্সেস 3 দেখার ব্যাপার। এখানে আমাদের এক্সট্রিম এক্স এর 77 এমডি কত দূর কি করতে পারে, ডাবল ভেক্টর
ফুল ফাইট দেখতে পাচ্ছি এবং গেট কিপের কাজ করছে বাট আমাদের জোবের কাছে একটা প্লেয়ার ডাউন ছিল, আই ডোন্ট নো তাকে কি হিল করতে পেরেছিল এবং রায়োটের একটা প্লেয়ার কি কিন্তু ডাউন করে ফেলেছে আমাদের টিম রেজ, এন্ড টিম রেজ কিন্তু এখানে অসাধারণ গেম প্লে করতেছে এবং টিম রায়োটের একটা প্লেয়ার যে কিনা এখানে ডাউন হয়ে পড়ে আছে তার কি কিন্তু কিল কনফার্ম করার চেষ্টা করতেছে।
এক্স্যাক্টলি, সো এখানে কিন্তু আমরা এক্সট্রিম এক্স এর উপর একটা রিভেঞ্জ দেখতে পেরেছি ফ্রম জবব্রেকার্স কিন্তু এক্সট্রিম এক্স কে ডাউন করে ফেলেছিল। তো সেখানে আমরা পরে আসবে, এখানে কিন্তু রেজ থেকে কিন্তু রায়োটের উপরে অ্যাটাক দেখতেছি, রায়োটের একজন ম্যান ডাউন,
বলা যাচ্ছে না কার অ্যাডভান্টেজে আছে বর্তমানে।
হ্যাঁ, আমরা যদি আসলে খেয়াল করি একজন কিন্তু জবব্রেকার একজন নক ডাউন, এক্সট্রিমের কিন্তু একজন নক ডাউন অলরেডি, সো অলরেডি কিন্তু জবব্রেকার থেকেও কিন্তু আরেকজন নক ডাউন হয়েছে, সো 3v3 সিচুয়েশন হবে এখানের মধ্যে। দেখা যাক, এখন ডাবল ভেক্টর কিন্তু সবাই ইউজ করতেছে, ফয়সাল কিন্তু এখানের মধ্যে একটা কিল কনফার্ম করে নিছে, সো চিতা একজন কিন্তু ছিল, সো রিভেঞ্জটা কিন্তু নেওয়া হয়ে গেছে এখানের মধ্যে। জবব্রেকার এখানের মধ্যে ক্রোনো ইউজ একজন কিন্তু নক ডাউন, আর একজন দুইজন স্কোয়াড মেম্বার অ্যালাইভ, সো জবব্রেকার ফয়সালও কিন্তু নক ডাউন হয়েছে, সে নিজেও কিন্তু নক ডাউন, দুইজনকে নক ডাউন করে কিন্তু।
Hi survivors, it's me again, Kelly! Huge thanks to all of you for the warm support to Free Fire esports in the past years. I know all of us can't wait to find out what's next for Free Fire esports in 2021. So today, I am very excited to share with you what we've achieved so far and what we are planning for this year. Let's start with our biggest esports event in 2020, the Free Fire Continental Series. By the way, I hope you still remember my terrific performance at the opening ceremony. We broke records with the Asia Series, where 2.5 million of you tuned in to us live. The America Series also had a peak of over 1.7 million live viewers. Meanwhile, the EMEA Series also drew in nearly 300,000 live viewers, creating new viewership records for us in the CIS and Middle East regions. Your support was absolutely amazing! The Free Fire family just keeps growing. You guys rock! The World Series, together with the rest of our tournaments, pushed Free Fire into the top 5 most watched games on YouTube in 2020. Last but not least, we won the Esports Mobile Game of the Year at the Esports Awards 2020. We are humbled by your passion and love for Free Fire esports. This award is yours as much as it is ours. Hayato, it's your turn to talk about the World Series.
Sure. We have continuously expanded our esports outreach throughout the world, and the number of participating regions have grown massively. We started with 9 regions at our very first international tournament, the Free Fire World Cup. Over the past 2 years, our esports community has grown to include India, Russia, the Middle East, and the Pakistan regions. Our plans to grow further do not stop here. And in 2021, we'll be adding Bangladesh, Cambodia, and Philippines as competitive regions. Next, we're proud to present the brand new logo and format for the Free Fire World Series, our largest and most iconic tournament of the year. This year will be bigger than ever before. There will be 2 World Series in 2021. The first World Series will be taking place in Asia during April, while the second World Series will be hosted in November. In addition to these, there will be another international tournament around July. So stay tuned for the rest of the year.
In 2021, we will continue to work hard and provide more engaging esports events and content. We are excited to see Free Fire esports grow bigger this year, and we know we can do it with you as our loyal fans. That's all for now, and we will meet again very soon in April for the World Series.
See you soon.
Hi survivors, subscribe and press the bell icon for more awesome content. See you in the next video.
যখন আমি দেখি বাংলাদেশে বড় বড় স্পোর্টস ইভেন্টগুলো আসছে তখন আমি গেমটিকে ক্যারিয়ার হিসেবে গ্রহণ করি।
যখন বাংলাদেশে টুর্নামেন্ট হইতেছিল টপ 18-তে ঢুকছি তখন মনে করছি গেমটাকে ক্যারিয়ার হিসেবে নেওয়া যায়।
যখন আমি রেগুলার টুর্নামেন্ট খেলা স্টার্ট করি তারপর থেকে ভালো কিছু ফলাফল আসার পরে আমি শখ থেকে তখন গেমটিকে ক্যারিয়ার হিসেবে নিয়েছিলাম।
বিভিন্ন লোকাল টুর্নামেন্ট এবং টুর্নামেন্ট জেতা শুরু করি এবং বিভিন্ন ইন্ডিয়ান টুর্নামেন্ট জেতা শুরু করি, প্লাস যখন স্পোর্টস ইউটিউবারদের ফলো করা শুরু করি তখনই আমি ভাবি যে আসলে এই গেমকে স্পোর্টস ক্যারিয়ার হিসেবে নেওয়া সম্ভব।
মূলত গেম শখের বসেই খেলা এবং সেই শখের কারণেই বিভিন্ন টুর্নামেন্টে আমি অংশগ্রহণ করি এবং সেখানে আমার পারফরমেন্স ধীরে ধীরে ভালো হতে থাকে, যার ফলে আমি সিদ্ধান্ত নিই আমি আমার গেমিংকে নিজের ক্যারিয়ার হিসেবে বেছে নেব।
একদিন র্যাঙ্ক পুশ করার সময় আমি আমার ড্রাম ড্যামেজ নিতে গিয়েছিলাম, তখন আমার নেট চলে গিয়েছিল আর সেই সময় আমার 3টে টিমমেট নকডাউন ছিল কিন্তু তাদেরকে আমি হিল দিতে পারিনি।
একটা টুর্নামেন্টে লাস্ট জনে অনেকটা বেশি ছিল, প্রায় 10-15 জনের মতো। সো সে ওখানে ক্যাম্প করে প্লাস ওর স্ট্র্যাটেজি মেনে ও এতজনের মাঝেও সে বুয়াটা নিয়ে এসেছে।
বাংলাদেশের টপ 48টা টিমের মধ্যে আমরা ছিলাম, এটাই আমাদের প্রিয় স্মৃতি।
এফএবিসি কোয়ালিফায়ার 4টা ম্যাচের একদম চতুর্থ যে ম্যাচটা।
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Free Fire Bangladesh Championship. My name is Anjeet Mamba, Senior Patel, and alongside me, I have the Wizard of Words. She's none other than Star Tanya. But Tanya, before I come to you, this is what it all comes down to. 11 days of grueling battle, one grand finale, and all these teams, and they worked so hard. And rightfully so, but the grand finals is the stage where they need to go out there and perform to be crowned as the Bangladeshi champions. But Tanya, coming to you, how are you doing? What are your feelings about the grand finals?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I myself start Tanya. Though Mamba SR definitely gave a very good introduction of me, let's head towards one of the biggest events of Bangladesh and one of the biggest until now for 2021. Yes, we're going to have many more. But if you talk about expectations or how am I feeling, I'm pretty too excited today. I have no choices for team, no choices of players. And yes, back of my mind, I do have few teams that I'm expecting a lot. But apart from that, if I had to choose at this point, I am waiting for good action to come right here, right now, being the biggest event for Bangladesh by far.
That is true indeed, but we're going to have a look at the format. Obviously, we're going to talk about it because the way all these teams made it to the finals, it's a miracle that these teams have been able to grind it out so long. Because the format is wonderful, sure, it's also as grueling as good it is. But we talked about the FFC mode qualifier early on as well. It is an open qualifier where the top 48 teams advance in a closed qualifier, and the top 18 teams moved on to the league stage. Now, the top 6 teams, 3 teams from each group, they move on to the grand finals, and the bottom 12 teams battle it out in the grand final play-ins, which, of course, give us 6 more teams, where we end up with 12 teams for the grand finals. And that is today, ladies and gentlemen, 12 of the best teams in Bangladesh. And not just best of the best. You know, when you talk about the cream, this is 1% of that cream. And these are the teams which are going to battle it out today. And I'm really excited for all the teams playing today. Of course, we're going to talk about the lineup as well. But before that, we have the prize pool coming up, Tanya. The prize pool is 25 lakh Bangladesh Taka. It's incredible to see the way, you know, the esports circuit has kicked off. And of course, with FFBC starting off with such a massive prize pool, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely. It is unbelievable. Let's see who's going to get the lion's share. And we are going to get where we do follow the hashtag Hello Bangladesh, and it is also where champions are made. So today it is the battle between champions of champions, because you have seen these teams performing so astoundingly well. Certainly in League Week 1, they had to give up some more efforts, but gradually as the time passed by, I am seeing their performances have increased to such a strong level. Because by now, if we talk about certain teams, it was always about Alchemists, one of the teams, and then see talk about teams. You already have some teams on in front of our screen. So yes, the teams that I was talking about, Alchemists, Agent SCXP, it is. I'm sorry, my bad. Then comes Jawbreakers. These are already the names that were already in our tongues into the routine. But apart from that, in these grand finals, we have Electro Infinity, Agents for sure, Jawbreakers. It is Team Swag, Mystics, Ambush, Riot, GB2L Esports, Zenin Extreme, and Team Rage. So it is good to see that these 12 teams are performing. They are going to get name, fame, and yes, prize pool indeed. Apart from that, they are also going to have very good sort of renowned name that in the Free Fire world, they won't need any sort of introduction. So today, it's the day when we say do or die, now or never. Give your best, do whatsoever have within you. And even if you haven't performed in such sort, go out of the boundaries and perform to such an extent, such a level that you get such sort of name and fame.
True. You got to go outside and you got to perform. But also at the same time, you need to make sure that there are going to be teams which have studied you, because the top 6 teams which directly went from the league stage to the grand finals, that's so much downtime to prepare. But at the same time, all the downtime can actually work against you as well, because you're not in the groove as such. But the first game is definitely going to be the most defining factor of the matchup, because the first game sets the mood, sets the tone, and of course shows which teams actually have walked in with intent, with a strategy to execute. And we're going to have a lot of fun talking about this, Tanya. But then again, I do believe the first match is more important than any game out of the 6 matches, because if you can go out there and stamp your authority, I think that's the best thing ever.
Yeah, that's true. If you hoist the flag very early on, you are already a threat to other 11 teams. So if you are beginning it good, we always say that early to bed, early to rise. And if you're rising so early, you are going to get even better as the day moves ahead. So yes, the first match for the day matters a lot. It boosts up your confidence at certain level, where you are able to perform even better than you usually do. So according to me as well, usually I say first match is a warm-up match, but being finals, I don't think any of the teams need this sort of warm-ups. They are already all charged up, boosted up, and first match for the day, that is definitely going to define the whole day ahead.
That is true indeed. And I guess all these teams have already warmed up, per se. I mean, you can go out there, play a little bit of the practice arena, maybe play some custom games if you want. But you know what? Let's hop on right in the matchup. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, is about to start. And we're going to see the plane take off in Bermuda, of course. Always the first map. is going to be Bermuda. And talk about the drops, the plane path as well. The plane path looks fairly standard, nothing too extreme going over Bhima Sakti. And we're starting off with EXE on the camera, but it is a little to the left, which is, I mean, then again, it's fairly standard. But I want to see if somebody goes to Kenton or Cape Town or even Mill, as a matter of fact, because it is going to be a little more far. But look at Electro, they already want to move in towards the high loot area and just, start off on a very positive note.
Yeah, the spread outs are pretty too wide. It was just, it was not exactly bisexual, but I'm sorry, bisecting, and it was good to see that the teams are actually spread out very well. But talk about Mars Electric, I'm seeing Jawbreakers already picking up some fight against Team Rage. Let's see how this team is going to fight, because they've already lost one player and now not willing to pick up the fight any further, and they are just using the perfect zip line, moving away from the battle, losing one player because it was the situation land and fight. And who was the first one to shoot? It was none other than Sadness. Definitely spread out some sadness for the opponents. And I see one withered teammate over here, quite too far away from other teammates. And I'm afraid he won't be spared. It is going to be Ambush Esports, and against them, it is Infinity's one solo player, totally strangled somewhere, not nowhere near to the team.
That is true, but a minute and 43 seconds on the clock. We already have a fight. Nitro's trying to go all there and getting a frag for himself. Siam is going to be finished off and will be kicked off the server because he has been eliminated over here. And AE starting off on such a positive note. They have a kill for themselves and just 2 minutes in. So there definitely is the intent, which is present, and they're executing it fairly well as well. They're not scared because it's such a massive stage, and they're not scared of taking these fights. And I believe that is the mentality you need to play with, because if you play on the back foot, teams will walk all over you, because all these teams are more than capable of dominating their opposition on any given day, especially if they've been playing really well that day. They've been feeling themselves, and of course they feel like they can connect all their shots. But right now, looking at all the teams, they're so spread out, Tanya. Nobody wants to initiate a fight.
Yeah, which is not quite too unusual now, because we have been seeing that Bermuda is the player of patience now. Everybody wants to spread out, get the best of the loots, get the best of the position, at least until third or fourth circle. We don't see any battles, and until 10 minutes for sure, we don't see a single elimination. But I like the positioning of Team Electro. They are into the highest resource loot zone. Apart from that, even if they move ahead, they have Clock Tower where Team Swag is waiting for them. So even if they don't go ahead with the same rotation, they have Hanger to move out with the best resources, all 4 players intact. Somewhere around, I feel that all they got to do is use their resources into the best possible manner. Talking about Team Zenin, they are using the split of 50-50. This is the perfect way to loot. You get a team support even if you have to battle someone. You get the easy revive, even if you get knocked out. So somewhere around, Team Zenin is into the best loot zone, loot section. The reason is the split is on point. They are around each other. So if they have to pick any battle, and talking about battle, we might get to see one battle here around, because Ambush Esport is just around the corner. But are they wanting this sort of battle into a very early stage, or all they want to do is just move out of it and save yourself for the next upcoming battles, or maybe the final circle? Because if you talk about Alamin, he's going overextended.
Maybe he is overextending, but look at Chupan. He's going to use his shield and just run away as quickly as he can. And I believe Chrono has definitely changed the game. For the better or worse is debatable, but it has changed the game so much. But Shifa, in the meantime, trying to take a couple of pot shots with the Woodpecker, but is not going to connect anything, missing every single shot out there. But is Zen going to realize there is Ambush Esports waiting right behind them? But of course, they're not trying to initiate a fight. I'm not sure if they're even aware of Zen's position, but that is a potential fight for sure. And teams is starting off on a very solid ground. They don't want to take unnecessary risk and lose out on players. So I guess that's commendable.
Yeah, that is commendable. You are saving your numbers, you're saving your members, because every player is going to count. And today it is not all about players. Every bullet is also going to count, because if that bullet connects on point, maybe you're going to get that perfect knock needed at this point of time. And the battle is quite too high. The stakes as well are very too high. Electro now, after the loot, as we talked about it, we are going to see the first battle between Team Swag and Electro. And Team Swag looks more than ready, because they have left the tower, they have left the clock tower, and they are moving ahead to pick this battle up. Sabit Shabit has already dealt a lot of damage. He needs to heal up because we already see they've got lots of loot to recover themselves. I don't know what is making Team Swag extending themselves, pushing this fight where there's nothing to force them, not even the circle, but all they want to make sure is get the first blood, get the first knocker over here. Let's see, are they going to be successful enough? Shuo also extending himself, and now this is the time Shuo can use the exact backstab strategy. But is he going to get that opportunity or no? Because if you look out at the spread out, both the teams are equally spread out, and it is Samzeed who might get the first knock. What a timing! He used the chrono shield as well as the blue wall right on point, right on time. Shuo with very low HP left, and this is the time he needs to take some decisions. Shabit is already down, Shuo is already down. Now it is all down to Tamzeed with very low HP and Seth who's full of HP. How is he going to support his teammates?
Well, I'm not quite sure that is going to happen, but we do have Team Zid going to trying to go in and finish that player off. But Electro, even though they've lost out on a player who's knocked and has been finished, as a matter of fact, they're still going to wait patiently. They did not freak out to try and save their fallen comrade, but I guess that's okay. They have 2 kills. They definitely have the trade advantage, but the nades going out is going to push the players out, and Team Zid might just actually fall down over here. But the glue wall coming in, I think information was really quickly, but I'm not quite sure if Electro wants to push in right now, and I think they should because they have the man advantage.
Yeah, they have the man advantage. They've lost Shuo, so the team who was initiating the fight, who was rushing this fight, they are already down with 2 players and with 1 kill confirmed. I would not say the trade is completely unbalanced because 1 player down is also lots of team damage already dealt, and we know the play strategy of Team Electro. They try to save their players until the final, and now I must say the trade might get equal, and it is already equal. It is 2 and 2 men both left, and look at the third party entry, B26 Mystic, the master of killers, are just around the corner. But are they willing to join in this battle, or will they just wait and treat their eyes with elimination of 1 team so early on? Because I'm seeing Team Electro struggling a lot. Seth, he'll be revived for now, but then look at the rush coming from Team Swag. They are quite too aggressive, and they have successfully managed the equal trade for now.
They have successfully managed equal trades for now, but 7 minutes on the clock. We still have all the 12 teams alive, and most of the players as well. 41 players. And this is not a number you get to see very often. I do remember in one of the tournaments which happened recently, for the first 14 minutes of gameplay, there were no fights. There was not a single bullet being shot in the server. And it's a Premier level tournament, so we've seen teams adapt really quickly. We've seen teams change their strategies as well according to suit what the need is. But the UAV over here might be the party pooper for Team B26 Mystics, because imagine the UAV just crossing over you and one of the players actually gets noticed in the radar, which gives away practically the position of your entire team. But Zico in the meantime is going to find a frag onto Enonto, and Kazi still trying to dish out some damage, but obviously Zenon is not going to fall for it. They are going to fortify themselves and just wait it out.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to even take the hardship up to revive the teammate who's already down, being too far away. And that is what I always say: extend yourself to such a limit where you are able to give the team support. I'm afraid they're going to lose this player, and there's no scope of revival as well. Kazi that wants a few more knocks, few more kills as well, as Hamim is already down with 1. He's having a good time because I've always seen that the stream extreme, there are 2 players who are always competing against each other. It is always between Zico and Hamim with equal amount of kills that they gain. So now the small competition is already on between the teams. After Zico getting the first frag, Hamim is going to push this out. He always wants to make sure that he is always the highest fragger here. Let's see, is he going to be successful over here? Because ultimately it is not the competition between you, it is always against the opponents over here. It is 7-7 MD who has confirmed 1 more knock, and they are going ahead this time for the confirmation. But this time around, revival is quite too easy as the players are into the cluster format.
Yep, but Kazi in the meantime, he does connect a headshot though. I didn't expect that because, of course, the Reaper bullets are going to dish out damage even after the player is behind cover. There's a lag to that damage, and that's an added lag. It's not like, hey, the first shot does not do damage, but it definitely does help a lot. And I've seen instances where players were behind cover, but because they were being shot at with the Reaper bullets, they actually fell and got knocked or eliminated because, once again, the property of the bullet. So that's kind of unfortunate if you're on the receiving end, but it's a lot of fun if you're the one getting the kill. So teams obviously are going to play it with a lot of patience, a lot of care. EXE trying to go in and get inside cover near Pochinok. Now the question is, are they not taking fights because they're too scared, or are they not taking fights because their drops are actually not that close?
I think they want to do is they have got one kill over here. Don't wish to pick up fight and waste the resources, because in final circle, when the circle ends up into the open fields, all you have is to save your glue walls as a defense system, as a soft cover, we can say, because you don't get to see much of hard covers. So yes, maybe they just want to save the resources at this point of time and also saving the numbers. But if we talk about current situation, it is Team Agent who are trying to fight it out with the summon drops. I think the summon drops were called by Team Electro, and now they are entertained by Team Agents. The way the drops are taking place, Team Agent called for the summon drops, they went for the hard cover, and now it is Team Agent who are going to get the best of advantage. Team Agent are have not yet engaged into any sort of fight, so yes, they are not into that form. But look at B26 mistakes, how they were into the clock tower, gradually entering into the circle. They have already showed their existence when other two teams were fighting, made Team Electro to take a fall back after losing two players. Now it is Jamil with the double vector who is trying to go up close and personal. Is he going to be successful enough to get the first knock? Because the player who gets knocked first, the team that they have to struggle a little bit more compared to the opponent. So nobody wants to get knocked, and already we are aware about the situation that Team Electro are already in less of numbers.
Yep, that is true indeed. They are in less of numbers for sure. But what I'm really concerned about is Agent's position, because they do have a team below them. That is Team Electro. And that's not a team you want to stifle with. But at the same time, they're also surrounded by B26. And these are three heavyweights fighting it out against each other. We've seen Agents get like, 14 kills, if I'm not mistaken, in one game. Zishan, obviously one of the best snipers in his country, and Ornob at the same time being the glue that binds the team together. Jamil is one, I believe, who flies below the radar, but it does play a pivotal role in the team's success. So Agents obviously is, one of those teams which, if they pop off, they can get upward of 15 or 17 kills. But if they have an unlucky game, they can go down pretty easily. But at the same time, they have a lot of clutch potential because of players like Zishan, Jamil, Ornob. But even Samir, the entire lineup is stacked with firepower.
Yeah, they have got a best team support as well. They're one of the snipers, one of the perfect assaulter, one of them is two of them indeed are the supporters and rushers. So the team that they have chosen, the way they have split up their roles, that is working functionally well until now. Let's hope they're going to go ahead with the same as well, because if we talk about Team Electro, now they are outside the compound, and the compound is held high by Team Agents who are down at this point of time. Arnab is trying to make sure to go close and get those knockers. Chrono shields have been already used. Sabit is down. I'm afraid for Seth. Now it is going to be a 4v1 situation, and this is the time when B26 can take the most of the advantage and give complete elimination to Agents as well. Agents are safe for now. 2 kills confirmed. Electro is the first team who got eliminated out of the server into the very first match. So 13 minutes down, 38 players still remaining. Bladers is definitely trying to make sure to get some knockers, get some kills, but unsuccessful attempt. Maybe this door view or window view is not giving a clear headshot that they are desiring to achieve. And now I also see one more team entering. That is going to be Team Xenon. So now center of attraction B26 can get attacked from the northern as well as southern side.
Yep, that is true. But 13 minutes in, and we still have 11 teams and 38 players. So a lot of fights are going to happen in the next couple of minutes, and it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be very difficult to keep a track of all the fights happening. But in the meantime, Riot is taking some damage. The entire team is being shot at. Alvi obviously using his Chrono Shield and trying to heal himself, but is going to push in. He will actually push in using his glue walls and his inhaler in Unison, but at the same time, well, Fresher found a knock for himself. Anaf throwing away a couple of nades, trying to dish out some damage, maybe use that as a deterrent. But at the same time, he is going to be walled off behind the nade so that he doesn't push in. But I think they need to go in right now, and maybe they've made a mistake as well, running towards the opposition, because sure, they didn't really need to move in from there, but they could have waited a little more for sure.
Yeah, they could have waited, but then now it is Zone who wouldn't allow them to wait too much, and now this is the time that the battle must take place. Either Blue Zone will kill you, or you have to fight and get some kills. Shuo is knocked down. Maybe they can confirm some kills over here, because it is the race of safe zone. Both the teams will make sure to reach, and somehow, somewhere, Shuo is already revived. But is he going to survive and reach for the circle? And yes, he is going to survive. But to look at the circle shift, Mamba, how nicely the circle benefited Jawbreakers, who have not even picked up any fight, and close to them, it is going to be Team Team Swag. So now Jawbreakers versus Team Swag. Talking about it, Jawbreakers have already broken the team, and Swag is out of the server as well. And now they are the victims. Alvi and Maruf down. I'm seeing Infinity is also struggling too much. They are down to only Nobeen. Nobeen is trying to give the best of battles against Team Extreme. Kazi is also down. This is a thorough chaotic situation. No teams fighting at all until 14 minutes, and now now on the bell of 15 minutes, it is all down to 27 players now.
Yep, it is all down to 27 players, that is for sure. But, I mean, Factory is an area where there are 3 layers, right? And not even 3, as a matter of fact, there are 4 layers even on the terrace, if you count that. So it's going to be very difficult for teams to actually get control of Factory once there is a team on the high ground, because they have so much information to work with. But Skylight wants to push in. Is he going to push in, though? That is going to be the question. A lot of shots being exchanged, and Skylight just waiting it out with the dual vector, trying to run in. But a lot of snipers are at play over here. Alameen is going to find a frag for himself. That Cruz is waiting it out, and the teams are probably struggling a lot, trying to stay alive over there. But it does look like it's going to be very, very difficult for GB2L to try and fall back to safety over here.
Oh yeah, it is going to be tough time now. It is only Skylight. Skylight is trying to use the best of shredding machine, but unfortunately they are eliminated as well. If we talk about Team Xenon, they have lost 1 player. Into the counter result, they already have 1 kill, but now it is something serious. Shifat is already down. Zone is closing in. I am afraid Shifat won't be given any revival, and Agents in the course is already eliminated. Team Infinity is eliminated as well. Now we are down to top 5 and Ambush as well. So now Alameen is trying to give. Definitely M82B does connect through the glue walls, but I'm afraid it is going to connect through the walls. He's just shooting at the walls, trying to threaten the opponents or whatsoever, just showing his presence. But look at the numbers. Team B26 Mystics, they have taken a longer route. Still, all 4 men are still standing tall. So I think the advantage of numbers is definitely going to help them get that easy booyah. But if we talk about Team Xenon, they are having the edge of the circle. They don't need to push it inside. So maybe even if they are able to hold themselves under some strong cover, they don't need to pick up any early fights.
That is true. They don't need to pick up any early fights, but 17 minutes in about 90 seconds, we're going to see a winner emerge over here, because the circle's about to close in, but there is a lot of cover from Factory. And that is why I mentioned that, having control of Factory is so important over here, but Shots is going to try and push in. Actually walk up and close in on the distance with his teammate Bladers is going to try and go across the road. Does have some solid cover to work with and a sniper in his hand, and such a big dream of starting off with the booyah. But okay, then Shupin is actually going to go around the corner, try and take a couple of shots. He does connect the second one, which was so surprising, but he doesn't have a lot of heal. He actually does not have any first aid kits to work with, which is going to be such a big problem. But nonetheless, JB, they have 5 kills, they have glue walls, they have healing as well, and the way they've been playing is just incredible. So Jawbreakers are in pristine position over here to try and walk away with a booyah, but the problem is there's a wall right in front of them. The zone is going to be pushing them in. Now the question is, can they stay alive for long enough, or are they going to fall at the hands of their opposition? But Freak, in the meantime, trying to find an opening for his team. The question is he going to get it, Tanya?
Absolutely, it is going to be very difficult. Team Xenon definitely survived as the duos for quite too long, and now it is only down to Freak. Jawbreakers played tremendously well until now, but the zone definitely outplayed them. Now it is all up to B26 Mystics. I must say, the zone prediction for them is just working on point. Team Xenon's last man gets eliminated, and it is B26 taking away the first booyah for the grand finals, and it was a beautiful one. We did see B26 Mystics taking away with booyah, with some good kills. Apart from that, they did pick up fight early on as well, Mamba. It was not that they saved the players throughout. They were fighting it on. They were taking some strong rotation, and zone prediction was just on point.
Zone prediction was definitely on point, but I think at the same time they got a little lucky, because Jawbreakers, if you saw the movement, it was so bad. And I don't usually use words like these, but the fact that the first player who could not walk in because he got stuck on the ledge, all the rest of the 3 players falling down to the zone. Of course, you had to move from cover to cover, but then being stuck behind a glue wall because you did not expect a glue wall to be right in front of you, even when you actually saw it while crossing. That's just unfortunate. And I, more than criticizing what actually happened, I feel bad for them, because they were in such a good position. They had the kills, they had the heal, they had the glue walls to work with. The only thing they did not have is the foresight to move in early on. But the position was actually not the best either. If they tried to move in, they would have been shot at by 3 different teams, if I'm not mistaken, or 2 at least. So I guess it's good enough being the top 5. Of course, they can walk away with the booyah, but B26, they played like absolute champions. Like early on, they took fights, they got the kills. Towards the end as well, they were not scared They wanted to go out and take those fights, but let's have a look at the replays first and talk about what actually happened in the game. Tanya, why don't you walk us through this?
Yeah, sure. It was all that the team just landed and started. They wanted to initiate some fights. Early fights did play some good role for some, bad for some. But if we talk about current, Electro losing away 2 players early on, and opponents as well lost 2 players. So this was a fair trade. They both departed from each other. One of them turned the victims of Jawbreakers. If I'm not mistaken, it is Team Swag who got eliminated by Jawbreakers, and Agents eliminated Team Electro. So they did depart, but unfortunately they departed towards the elimination. If we talk about Agents at this point of time, and yes, this was the battle that I was telling, and B26 Mystics had the play of patience. They did not rush in. They had the full advantage over here to get the third party benefit, but they did not want such sort of benefit. They wanted to win it out through all their play and efforts, and how Zone managed to give some damage to Team Riot, and as well as not only to Team Riot, I did see some eliminations of the Team Rage. So Team Riot and Team Rage picked up some fight, did not end up in their favor. Zone played very well. GB12, everything was left only to Skylight, and it was against the Jawbreakers who did fight out, who did battle out in best of the patterns possible. Team Zen, and I like the play of Team Zen, realizing that they don't need to battle every time, they don't need to enter the circle every time. All they did was they took a little bit of extra time, extended time, pushing their limits to stay over here. But Jawbreakers, I must say, this breaks my heart, not the jaw indeed. They could have entered very easily, but they were stuck into the blue wall, and it was quite, at this point of time, I was pretty sure that B26 was going to take away the booyah, having the advantage of circle, being in more numbers. So yes, it was quite clear picture then.
It was quite a clear picture over there. And then again, B26 getting the booyah is actually a wonderful thing. But, you know, all the teams which actually made it the top 3 were unfortunate in their own right. The zone was moving in. Of course, factory control was so pivotal in that booyah. And having control of that area, especially when the zone is on you, I guess that's just, you know, a boon. Because imagine you don't have to move an inch. Teams actually have to come to you. And there's a choke point that you're holding. The biggest problem for Jawbreakers was the fact that they had to move in through a choke point. They didn't realize this. They knew they had to move in. There was only one entryway, and teams can easily hold it off. So you need to start moving it early so you don't get stuck over there. And that is what happened. So it was unfortunate, but I hope they learn from the mistake and stay away from choke points as much as you can. Because for somebody, just, you know, imagine 2 players from a team holding a doorway, and all you had to do is just shoot, literally just shoot. Everything else is going to happen automatically. But yeah, a small blunder on their end, but it's nothing major. They can definitely work on it, fix it, and move on to the next match, which is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be Purgatory. And Purgatory is such a map which, you know, doesn't follow logic. It's Kalahari.
I find Kalahari a little more unpredictable, but these days Purgatory is as equal as Kalahari. Indeed, sometimes the zone shift that take place are even worse than Kalahari. So let's see if Purgatory is the new Kalahari into the upcoming match. And I am also wanting to see B26 rotation once again, because they did come to Clock Tower, gradually moving in towards the factory, and in the course of time they were also taking some kills. So if this strategy is working fairly good towards them, are they going to do the same? So we are going to see that into the second match for the day, which is Purgatory for sure, and it is going to be right in front of your screen real soon. And here it is. So any expectations coming from Purgatory, Mamba, or you would say as unpredictable as Kalahari?
I think Kalahari is still predictable. Purgatory is just the wild, wild west. It's like, imagine giving a crayon to a kid and a white wall. You never know what the kid is going to do. That is exactly how I feel about Purgatory. You never know what is going to happen.
Okay, let's see what is going to happen, because by far Ski Lodge is the highest resource zone. I don't see any team pushing there, reaching there, because it is into the flight route. So you might expect that there are going to be various teams there. And fortunately for Team Agent, they are rushing there. Let's see what are they going to do with this sort of loot, because Jamil is lost somewhere, not moving ahead with the team. And Team Electro is already down once again. They are willing to pick up this fight, jump and loot, and then come shoot. Unfortunately, they are not able to pick up those shooting kills. Indeed, they are taking up some bullets, tanking up some damage, and losing one player every time. This time around, Team Rage, I would say, they have chosen a place to drop. It is going to be central. We know that usually 2 teams are already there. So previously they made a mistake, went too far away, were not able to reach on time, and realizing and improving in this round. But before that, let's head towards the fighting going on between 2 teams. Infinity has already taken 1 player down, followed by another. Siam Bao is down, but he will be safe saved for sure. His teammates are quite too near, and yes, here we are. It is Kingsman who is going to save his teammate with the glue wall on.
Well, the glue wall was there to give them cover, which was very important. But now we have a team being eliminated so early. Now look at the comparison. Like, you know, look at the contrast between the first game and the second game. I think it was 10 minutes until we actually saw the elimination of the first team, if I'm not mistaken. And now we saw it within 2 minutes. Within the first 2 minutes, we saw a team go down. So it's incredible to see the intent, the way it's changed. But let's have a look at the scoreboard right now and see what the score tells us, and the story paints a picture. It paints as B26 Mystics. They were going on with absolute domination and no care for the other team. They rolled over other teams like a bulldozer, and they have 24 points. So that's a pretty big lead.
That is indeed 11 points of lead. You need a booyah to achieve that sort of difference. And I must say, B26 Mystics rotation, taking some kills, taking the booyah, and waiting outside the factory area just with the cover of fence worked their way. But this time around, let's see, are they going to go with the same strategies, or are they going to switch any? Because Team Rage has already picked up fight. Took one kill, and now they have moved out of sight. Indeed, they have not moved out of sight. It was Team Electro who raced back, realizing that they don't want to lose the numbers any further. Last time around, they had to struggle a lot, suffer a lot, and now it is Team Riot who is trying to pick up fight against GB2L Esports. Previously, it was a sad for Skylight. He did give his best of efforts to take the fight, to take some kills. Unfortunately, he was not able to get any team support at that point of time. But this time around, all 4 players are intact. Let's see, are they going to go ahead against Team Riot, or with winning this battle or losing this player, or both the teams might go unhealthy, just like Team Electro left the battle halfway through. And if we talk about MVP for the previous match, it is coming from B26, and it is light out for sure. He did give best of the fights, 5 kills. I must say it is a worth of applause, because 5 kills just within the warm up match, first round. It is a beautiful one.
5 kills within the warm round is what you call it, right? The first game, the warm round. But it is very real. The points are going to be counted from that game. So believe it or not, starting off with 5 kills, that is starting off with a bang, and that's stamping your authority and showing the world that you're a world-class player. So congratulations and very well played. But getting back to the game number 2, the game at hand's away. We're 4 minutes in. We've seen the elimination of a team, but we still have 43 players live, which means that most of the teams, actually 99% of the teams actually have all their play. Ooh, okay. That was smart. For a moment, I assumed that they might have missed the mark and would land on the riverbank, and that would have been disastrous for them. Imagine the entire team being knocked down while trying to get down from the zipline. That would have been comical as well as disastrous. But I do believe that these players are good enough to understand that, because if you're playing at the highest level, competing in the FFPC finals, I mean, what else do you expect from them except for world-class gameplay?
Yeah, they are showing the best of gameplay possible. Team Rage, though, they are sticking to one sniper tower. Team Electro can definitely use the throwables here if they want to pick up the fight. And we are already aware that they are less in numbers. Would they want to pick up, though? I'm afraid after losing the previous game, we know Team Electro is one of the strongest team coming from their very own group. So the match did not go their way in previous round. So this time I did see one fallback coming from them. This time around, once again, they're going for the safe play, and they are into the bottom 2. So saving the position points is equally as important as picking up the kill. So somewhere around, they are not wanting to pick up the fight, which is fair, Mamba, which is fair. You always don't want to rush into any sort of play when you are not forced to.
That is true. You don't want to be forced into a fight, especially in an uncomfortable position, and be taken down, because you want to feel confident when you fire the first bullet. And I believe confidence is key in everything you do. I mean, you don't have to overcommit. You don't have to overstretch yourself, because this can't be the argument. Hey, man, I was confident I peaked that angle, but there were 5 people standing in front of me. It doesn't work that way. Obviously, you need to be logical. You need to be very careful of what you're doing and aware of your surroundings. But if you do have to take a fight, peak it like you mean it.
Peak it like you mean it over here. I'm seeing Timzid is definitely meaning his peak because he did get one perfect shot at this point of time. And let's see, is he going to go ahead by giving some more damage and confirming the kill? If you look at weapons, Seth is definitely wanting a long range fight using the SKS. If he connects 2 shots, he might get the knock confirmed. But Ambush Esports is already trying to ambush one of the team, which is going to be Agent EXP, which are definitely not very easy to ambush. Oh, your Godspeed is already down coming from Nitrox. Let's see, are they going to go ahead to save the teammate or no? Because now it is Fearless who's already down as well, and Team Agent strong once again. All 4 players intact, picking up the fights where they are benefited in the best of matter. This time it is Jamil versus Fresher. Chrono Shield used right on time. Still, Jamil manages to confirm the first frag for his team, and it is Ornov this time. Ambush Esports is ambushed by Team Agent. I don't have anything else to say at this point of time, but Agent literally ambushed the team.
They did ambush the team, that is for sure, but we're 7 minutes in and so many fights happening. I'm actually quite surprised and pleasantly so because I love seeing these early fights. And sure, it's the first zone, but I do call it the beginning of mid-game. For me, mid-game goes on from 8 minutes till 14, and anything after 14 is actually late game, end game. So yeah, pretty good start to an early game if you divide the match into 3 halves. Jawbreakers have been playing pretty passively this time around. The last time they were in the top 5 for sure, but I'm not quite sure what happened over there. But Team Infinity, they have 3 kills and no players lost, and I think that's massive. That is massive.
Indeed is massive. Team Infinity is also into bottom 6, so they need to show this sort of play to get some up shifts. And GB2L Skylight gave the best possible fight. This time they are saving the numbers. They want the team support. Fleps, though, he's quite too far away. He is the scout. He is the flanker. He needs to take this risk. Let's see, is this risk going to give this team lots of reward or no? Because I see 2 teams already there, one of which is Team Rage and one of which is Team Swag. So if GB2L picks up the fight, they might get third party, indeed fourth party as well. I see Team Electro through the mini map, but Team Electro is quite too far away. I don't see any fights coming from them at this point of time. But one thing that I do see is GB2L might get sandwiched.
GB2L might get sandwiched over there because of the positioning, but I think they know how to get out of pinch. And it's something that everyone... wait, was there food on the shelves? I've actually never noticed. Because I've been so caught up with trying not to be eliminated. That is definitely food on the shelves. And it's not the best time when you're feeling hungry yourself, Tanya. But, well, 9 minutes in, we still have 39 players alive and 10 teams. GB2L playing it slow. All the teams, as a matter of fact, playing it so slow. They don't want to get it wrong. And I believe that's fair. That's fair. You don't want to pick fights where you're not confident that you're going to win the fight. But look at the concentration towards Priscilla. That's insane.
I really want the circle to end up in Brasilia. The rainbow colors are way more beautifying, but way more beautiful is their fight. So let's see who's going to fight better. Infinity, one of the player is already with low HP, but he's going to heal up. It is a mid-range fight, so you get some time to heal yourself. And the best part is, all the teams are playing the cluster, and none of them is becoming the victims of any grenades or any other throwables as of now. Kingsman losing some of HP, realizing not to peek so easily because just Mamba said, peek only when you mean it. And now Kingsman is realizing not meaning it at this point of time, holding himself, because certainly holding yourself for quite too long also takes lots of courage, because you have to make sure that if you're holding too long, you don't turn out to be the victims of the circle. You don't choke out of the blue circle. And there are 2 teams into the Brasilia already within the fight. It is going to be Team Extreme and Electro. Electro by far is trying to dodge the fight, but this time around I'm afraid they're not able to dodge any further. Kazi using the throwables, and this is the time when Electro needs to make sure that they are not losing any players any further. Seth is jumping out of the squad house. Is it a safe event that he's using? For now he's safe, using the glue walls, shifting to other compound, but somewhere around they're again chasing back. Don't want to pick up fights once again, and this time around they have managed to chase in such a format that they have taken 1 knocker down. Kazi is already low in HP, and this time Hamim comes as a savior, and maybe the revival will go on point, but before that he has to fight other 2 members of the team. 1 chrono shield, 3 players already, and Kazi is revived. This is just running into the chrono shield of the opponents, which you don't get to see quite often, but this is the finals. This is what you see. Expect the unexpected. 7-7 MD down, Zico down, firing shots on from Kazi. Jump and shoot is the action, and Zico could not be saved, but definitely 7-7 MD will.
Definitely 7-7 MD will. Yep. 11:11 on the clock. We have Tameem getting a knock for himself. The cruise is going to go down now. The UAV, is it going to dish out any information for the players in the zone, in the AoE? Nope, that is not going to happen. But EXE, just look at them, making sure that they have nobody around them, healing themselves, taking a moment for their fallen brother. Zeke, who has been eliminated from the server. So that's kind of sad, but they've been playing well. They have 3 kills for themselves. And Kazi, if you talk about him, that guy has played so much. You know, he's been performing so much for his team, but does not get the appreciation, at least from us casters, that I think he deserves, because he can step up when he needs to and go out there and actually make a difference. But nonetheless, we do have GB2L just waiting it out. Alongside them, they have Team Swag on their left, and along that, we have Team Infinity waiting it out right next to Agent. So a lot of teams in each other's vicinity, just that there's a lot of solid cover to work with.
No, not so solid cover. Look at the circle shift. It is trying to conquer 3 islands. Let's see who is going to take the most of advantage, because Rage is definitely on the riverbank. They're holding a sniper tower and giving the best of shots possible to Team Riot. Team Riot is racing into such a deadly spot where they are going to fight against GB2L, because even if Team Rage spares them, it is going to be GB2L waiting with their arms wide open, not with love. Indeed, they are going to shower some bullets over here. Let's see how are they going to bullets going to work in which pattern. And once again, the circle shift goes into the advantage of Team Rage somewhere around this sniper tower. They are holding it quite too long, and they can hold on to over here for even more of the minutes. Maruf is using some flashbangs over here, using some throwables above them. It is going to be red zone, red danger zone. Everybody is in the hard cover, so red zone is definitely not going to be any more of havoc. All they got to do is just save yourself. Don't move out, don't pick up any fights, or maybe for 30 seconds you are not going to get to see any fights.
And for 30 seconds, you're not going to get to see any fights, that is for sure. But if you talk about Riot, over here, they're in a position where they can hold this even out of the danger zone, even if the zone moves in, but that's going to be a risk. Because imagine if the zone does not favor them. But I do believe there is a chance that the zone might favor them if they can get control of the compound on the right side. But they can't move out right now. That's a shit and a half, but EXE is moving in now. This is going to be a big problem for Riot, because if the zone does not favor them, EXE is going to have a field day trying to get those 3 kills.
Who do you think, Mamba, has got the best of position? According to me, GB12 has a better choice of compound. Being in the center, they can gatekeep few teams if the circle closes in into their pattern. If you had to choose any team, you felt that because everybody is quite too clustered, you got to pick one compound where you are able to gatekeep, where you are able to pick some fights. Alongside picking up fights, you have to save your numbers. So who is that team within the circle you think has the best of advantage as of now?
The team which is inside the zone, I guess. But no, Zenon is definitely in a good position, but they're trying to work on it now. That is my problem. Like, why do you want to go out there and pick a fight with 3 people? This is utter stupidity, honestly. That was not a good fight, but Al-Amin was coming in from below. Unless they had a strategy which they failed to execute, I think they shouldn't have went in over there, and Al-Amin is making a massive mistake. His teammate is not going to survive over there. You need to go in. Why are you waiting it out? I'm not sure what is happening, but Riot is definitely having a field there, getting those 3 kills for themselves. And Arnav is going to be rest. He's going to be revived. 3 kills, all 4 players live, and 15 minutes on the clock. 4 more minutes, and we'll see who's going to win game number 2.
We are going to get to see Team Riot got 3 kills, and now they are going to head towards the safe zone, because Team Rage also needs to make sure that they have to take an entry. They were holding the sniper tower for quite too long. But as I said, GB2L definitely had the best of circle compound over here, and they are going to stay there. There's nothing that is pushing. Indeed, if the teams are trying to push into the compounds, they've got the best advantage to gatekeep. But it is Team Rage who already are aware about this situation, not wanting to take the entry. They are taking a longer rotation with the cover of the Rage, which is the best possible direction, because they can enter the circle quite too safely if they do it that way. Mean is using SKS to get the best of knowledge possible, using the zoom in of the SKS, and I don't think he's going to get any intel out of it. But look at Team Zen and how still they are not wanting to enter the circle. They are waiting for the circle to take a close in and take them down. Jawbreakers, so once again victim of the circles at his agent. Arnab this time took one knockdown, and Cheetah is already is against the crosshair of Shabir. He's also down. I must say, agents are on fire with total of 7 kills already, and many more to come.
With a lot more to come for sure, but Agent, the way they've played has been so dominating. 7 kills, all the 4 players alive. And just 2 more minutes to go, and they will have a pretty decent stack of kills. But Rage is also playing in the edge of the zone and using this ledge. So the question is, are they going to fall first, or is it going to be Zen? Because Zen could actually be backstabbed by Team Swag, but Team Rage have decided to fall back and run away, which I'm not sure if it is the best strategy, because you can be shot at from behind. They did survive miraculously, but they want to go in and third party the teams fighting it out with each other, and Sabir might just actually make a mistake of overcommitting. But nonetheless, he does have dual vectors. He can actually go in and he can go in and try and get those kills. Is he actually going to go in? Yes, indeed he does. And Sabir getting the first kill, being the initiator for the team. In the meantime, Amin, if I'm not mistaken, was the one using his nade launcher. 4 teams, 14 players, Tanya. Incredible to see Rage pushing like that.
Definitely, they are choosing the best of weapons, giving the best of damage. Team Agents are now struggling hard. They are fighting against Team Swag. This time, their god has taken down Arnab. Let's see if is Arnab going to get the resurrection. This is a much-needed resurrection because they have already taken so good kills. All they got to do is reach into top 3. We've seen them fighting into the previous match where they did lose early on. This time around, I'm very sure of they want to push themselves, but it is Team Swag doing the best of gatekeeping on all 4 corners. They're gatekeeping Agents, the gatekeeping Team Riot. Let's see how far and to what extent are they going to do this, because Saudi is definitely getting the perfect window view where he's able to gatekeep. Took one knockdown as well, and Amin is trying to save, but then comes the other player from the same team. Swag, 2 players are already down, and it is Team Rage is eliminated. Still, we are down to top 3 teams. There are 8 players remaining, and 3 players coming from Team Swag, 3 coming from Agents, and the last man standing, it is 4 from Agents. Agents have managed to save all 4 members as of now, but it is only 1 player from Team Riot who is eliminated, and now it is going to be battle 3 versus 4. Advantage of cover still, I would say it is with Team Swag.
It is with Team Swag for sure, but now we only have 2 teams and 7 players alive. But oh, look at that though. That was such a quick trade, and Sabir coming in. Agent, they don't want to let this go. Swag left with 2 players, Tamim and Sorry, but Tamim isn't going to be able to survive. Although he does have a P90, but there's a nade launcher. There's a small nade launcher in their hands, and Agent just want to push in. They want to dish out the damage, and Sorry, along with his teammate Tamim, barely surviving, but Sorry is going to peek around the glue wall. Is he going to find the frag though? Zizan in the meantime using his sniper. Still 2 more teams. Swag being eliminated, position to an Agents going out and getting a booyah in such a dominant manner. It's incredible to see the confidence they have, and it was so good.
Indeed, it was very good. Agents coming to the original rush play because they were into the bottom 6, and this time around, this is going to turn the tables. We did see the Booyah baggers of the previous match were eliminated into the first half itself. So this is certainly going to give a very good boost shift to them. But still, the question is the position 1 holder, are they going to shift down? They are going to give best of their matches. Still 4 more matches to go, but these 2 matches, first segment definitely matters a lot. It boosts up your confidence. Now, first match goes to the warm up. Second definitely goes up to the confidence.
That is true. And I believe Agents, they stepped up. And they knew that Purgatory is the map where they can actually step up. Because then again, I've always said this, you can't decide. I mean, usually when we talk about analysis, we look at historical data. And if you look at Purgatory's data, I mean, there are so many outliers that it's very difficult for us to predict what will actually happen over there. But all in all, Agents definitely played really, really well. I'm sure the replays are going to do justice to their prowess. And unfortunate for Swag, the way they played. I mean, falling back was not the best option, but at the same time, what else could he have done? The nade launcher as well, the small nade launcher which throws in a grenade, it's something that does annoy you a lot. It does not explode on impact, but it does explode after a while. But let's have a look at the replays first and see what happened in the game, Tanya.
Yeah, Team Electro once again, they did pick up a fight when they landed and got eliminated. They lost some players. They did not get eliminated so early on. It was Team Infinity who picked up fight against Team B26 Mystics over here. B26 Mystics did manage to get the Booyah previous time, but this time around, it was Team Infinity who got the best of kills over here. They moved ahead, and it was Agents then picking up the pace. Started picking up fights, and every fight ended in their favor. They also went for the circle, saving them until the final zone. If we talk about Extreme X's, I must say Kazi should be appreciated, though he was knocked up quite early on, but then as soon as he was revived and then he got into a rage mode on, we must say it was Kazi 2.0, using the shotguns just on point and giving some good battles, winning away this battle indeed. It was quite 2+ for Team Extreme X's. They did manage to eliminate Team Electro over here. Then comes Team Zenin, and if we talk about Team Zenon, they unnecessarily overextended this fight, pushed their fight, which was barely needed, and the best of advantage over here was picked up by Team Infinity.
That is true. But right towards the end, just look at that though. Enough in the meantime, when he was knocked down, there was so much the other team could have done. They could have pushed him, but they didn't. But Agent, they just did not stop with their domination. They kept on getting those picks. Sabir with his Dragonor was so good as well because he got those headshots, and Sabir at the end found that frag onto Cheetah. But this fight was so incredible. So I was actually in a decent position. I don't see the reason why they would have wanted to move in before the zone actually started moving in. But I guess that's because they didn't want to be pushed off. But look at the meme. The struggle to stay alive. I think he should have actually pushed in. You know why? Because nobody would have expected him to be that close. And when the meme actually picked up the fight, Sorry could have been the one providing him with backup. So instead of falling back, he should have charged towards a blue wall.
Yeah, they could have picked up the charge, but they were afraid of the numbers. Maybe they were left with only two, and Agents had all four intact. Yeah, they did get one knockdown, but still, you're always afraid into the final circle when you know that you're less in numbers. And for close range fight, I must say, Double Vector is doing more than the player is doing. So that threat is always on about the weapons.
Yeah, the threat is always there. The double vector is
Yeah.
pretty powerful. It is pretty powerful. I still remember when the MP5 was removed from the Clash Squad mode. A lot of people were upset. They're like, hey man, you know what? The vector is not that great. I'm like, hey, have you even used it in the Kimbo mode? Have you tried using dual vectors? This gun shreds. And what people wanted was that if one gun, so they wanted to make single vector as powerful as the MP5. In that case, trust me, the vector in that state would have been better than the AWM. It would have been
Yeah.
so quick, would dish out so much damage that you could take out the entire team in a clip. So it's incredible to see how far the meta has come. But what did you think of game number 2, Tanya?
Hand cannons, the thing which you were telling, that also worked too much this time around, and we are down with 2 matches already. We saw all sort of weapons, close range, long range. Grenade launchers are also dealing a lot of damage and kills, but it is only the first segment for the day. We still have many more matches to go, so yes, take a short break, come back quickly. We will be back soon with next 2 matches for the day as well.
ও ভাই একাই এখন বেঁচে আছে, যার হাতে প্যারা পাল গানটা আমরা দেখলাম, এন্ড টিম ইলেক্ট্রোর গান কম্বিনেশন আমার চমৎকার লাগতেছে, কারণ ওদের অনেকজনের হাতে যেমন টিম সিটের হাতে আমরা দেখতেছি
ইয়েস রিঙ্কু ভাই, এখানে কিন্তু যেটা জিনিস বলার অপেক্ষা রাখে না, সেটা হচ্ছে যে ইলেক্ট্রোর উপরে কম হইলো।
এখন বলি, আমরা হয়তো আমরা মিনিমাম খেয়াল করছি টিম 5 ছিল উপরে, টিম 5 এর পাল্লায় জেবিটুয়াল পড়ে গেছে। যেখানে ইনফিনিটি জেবিটুয়াল
দিয়ে বলা যায়। তো এখানে টিম রায়ট কিন্তু প্রচন্ড অ্যাগ্রেসিভ, তারা 2 জন ডাবল ভেক্টর নিয়েছে এবং ডাবল ভেক্টরের খেলা কিন্তু আমরা দেখছি দুজনের কাছ থেকে। ওকে, এখানে কিন্তু রায়ট মারুফ কিন্তু ডাউন, তাকে হিল করা হবে হয়তো, বা হিল করে ফেলা পসিবল হবে। টিম সায়ানাইট করছে, টিম সায়ানাইটের সাথে কিন্তু আমরা দেখছি 12 নম্বর টিমও একটু দূরে আছে। তো এখানে কিন্তু টিম সায়ানাইট ভার্সেস রায়ট একটা ফাইট দিচ্ছে। রায়ট কিন্তু কোনো ম্যানকে এখনো পর্যন্ত হারায় নাই, সায়ানাইটে কিন্তু একজন মেম্বার নাই, আমরা সেটা জানি, একটু আগেই দেখেছি। তো দেখা যাক এখানে কিন্তু ওকে ওকে হ্যালো পিপল, কি অবস্থা সবার? চলে এসেছি এফএফবিসি 2021 এর একেবারে ফাইনালে, গ্র্যান্ড ফাইনালের দিনে কিন্তু আমরা চলে এসেছি। আপনাদের সাথে আছি আমি আহমেদ অনন্য মাসুদ, আমাদের সাথে আছে সারফারাজ, বুচার্স আউটল এবং ইলিউশনিস্ট ভাই। হ্যালো এভরিওয়ান।
হ্যালো,
কি
হ্যালো,
খবর
হ্যালো।
সবার?
তো
এই তো
গাইস
রিঙ্কু ভাই ভালো আছি। কি অবস্থা আপনার?
এই তো ভালো আছি সারফরাজ। বুচার ভাই কি খবর আপনার?
ভালো আছি। আপনাদের কি অবস্থা?
এই তো নাইস।
আচ্ছা, তো গাইস আমরা হচ্ছে যে ফাইনালে চলে আসছি। ফাইনালের 12 টা টিম কিন্তু আমরা অলরেডি জেনে গিয়েছি। আমরা সবার উদ্দেশ্যে একবার 12 টা টিমকে বলে দিব। আমাদের সাথে আজকে ফাইনালে ফাইট করবে B26, আমাদের সাথে ফাইট করবে অ্যাম্বুশ স্পোর্টস, টিম রায়োট, GB12, টিম জেনন, টিম এক্সট্রিমেক্স, টিম ইলেকট্রো, টিম ইনফিনিটি, এজেন্ট, দ্য জবব্রেকার্স, টিম রেজ এন্ড টিম সোয়াগ। সো এই 12 টা টিম আছে এবং আজকে কিন্তু তারা তাদের প্রত্যেকেই কিন্তু যেই ফাইনাল যে মুকুট বা ফাইনাল যে শিরোপা চ্যাম্পিয়ন সেই ট্রফির জন্য কিন্তু
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Free Fire Bangladesh Championships. We've had 2 exhilarating matches already, and boy, has the day just got started. To help me captivate all the action from Bangladesh, we have our boy from Bangla himself, Salty. How you been, my man?
I'm absolutely fine, dude. I mean, the best thing about today is like this is the biggest day in the history of Bangladeshi Free Fire. Like there's so much at stake. I can't even make sense at this point. It doesn't really matter if you have a dope buzz cut or you have locks like me. I mean, your head is gonna blow off. The kind of action that we saw in the first 2 games was exhilarating. Like I didn't really expect those teams to just go out and fight so well, but boy, oh boy, we did some really good action.
Yeah, and let's quickly head over and look over at the map recap because it's been a good start for B26 Mystics and AGDXP, right? 2 of, I think, the most favored teams to enter the grand finals. AGDXP, a consistent threat throughout the tournament, and B26 Mystics recently showing incredible form. These 2 teams, Salty, are filled with an arsenal of deadly players, but I feel like there are 10 other servers, 10 other teams in the servers that boy can really pack a blow.
Absolutely. But I feel like a team like B26, a team who wasn't really a threat in the initial days of the league stage, especially from the play-ins onwards, something really changed. And this team completely started packing a punch. Like at this moment, it feels like B26 can actually target the very top for, or at least like go for the crown itself, but you can never really know because you have a team like Asian. I mean, they didn't really have a very decent performance in the first game, but boy, oh boy, 14 kills and a booyah to show it up, to make it up for it. I guess it was a statement to not only to the casters or the audience, but I guess to the entire region as well, that this team, you might actually underestimate Team Asian quite a bit, but eventually they're going to come back and they're going to throw a knockout punch at your face, and eventually you'll have no comeback whatsoever at that point.
Yeah, and the best part of this is it's actually going to be Kalahari, which is going to be map 3. And both of us do understand how Kalahari does play out in terms of verticality, rotations, and how you choose to take your engagements. So what we're looking at right now is which team is going to be the more consistent one to basically scout out rotations, get ahead in terms of where the enemy teams are. And I feel like maybe a surprise or a curveball will be thrown at us. Jawbreakers, in fact, is a team that I'm really interested to see how they're gonna play this map out. But of course, we have Sunny Kalahari ready. Map 3, ladies and gentlemen, of the grand finals. And boy, oh boy, are we diving into the action. What are you expecting now, Salty? Is there anything that your foresight tells you?
I mean, the sand dunes, you can't really predict where the wind is going to go. So I'm not going to say anything, to be honest. I've had teams, we were talking behind the scenes about the teams that I think are going to have a very strong front. Jawbreakers is certainly one of them. Like their aggression was certainly something which I really looked out for in the entirety of the league stage. But now, in the first 2 games, they haven't really shown something for it. Looking at the drop locations, I guess there is certainly a very good spacing between the teams, but we might have an early brawl over here between Team Electro and Team GB2L. Now, Team Electro is a side who has had a very good outing. Mind it, OG, like Electro is the team who has masked up like the most number of league points, and there you go, they get their first knock as well. Skylight is already down. Team GB2L, they are at a disadvantage early on. Now Electro can actually rush in at the moment, but eventually they'll have to find a flank. Who's going to be the flanker? That is going to be the question. But about Team GB2L though, the fallback was certainly not great. Skylight is stuck in a position where revival is going to be a very tough job, OG.
Yeah, it's going to be a very hard job, and there's a lot at stake for both these teams in particular, right? They've not really had the best start here in the grand finals, and this is a map that helps you stabilize across the 6 maps, across the 6 matches that you're going to have, right? So Kalahari is definitely a map that they're going to be eyeing towards, and that initial kill from TNZ is going to be the opener for perhaps GB2L's, again, early outing here in map 3 as well. They're grouped up, they're trying to fight back, but the only problem is they're not in a position where they can retreat that easily. They're out in the open, and they're just hoping and praying that this divided setup would probably try and put Electro in between a sandwich. But yeah, the bread and the meat
my
swapped
God,
out, and it's the other way around. They're just chasing them for days. Shivu does get knocked out, and Shai close with the P90. This gun can absolutely shred you to pieces, and the Vector's not going to do anything against him. The Chrono Shield for added safety, and that is gonna be a real good start here for Electro. Kalahari seems to be shining upon them.
Absolutely. I guess it's the brave who does survive the ruthlessness of this map, and I guess Team Electro were pretty brave there. They really went for the kills and not really held themselves back. Team GB2L, they tried to fall back eventually. That was their grave. But now we have a look at Refinery, though. I mean, only one team at the moment that I can see is Team Swag. Team Swag have one kill as of yet. I guess that was the final player from Team GB2L.
Yep.
But Team Swag was one of the sides who had a very good outing in the first game. I'm not quite sure which position did they go out, but I remember that they had a decent number of points. Now, what I always say is that if you have a consistent outing in all the 6 games, you might actually have a chance. You might not win a single booyah, but he'll have a chance to get the crown at the end of the day. And that is what I'm looking for. Team Swag is certainly a side who has the potential. But then if you look at the firepower, that is where I kind of feel like this team might actually lack a bit. Especially against teams like Jawbreakers, especially against teams like Electro, Infinity, Agent. Team Swag, they have to amplify those firepowers that I'm talking about. But we have Jawbreakers on our screen right now. Oji, what are your thoughts on this team? I mean, we have seen this team dominate quite a bit. Every other league day that they have played, they've come out on the top. But today, that has been a different issue.
It's been a different ordeal entirely, but Agent EXP, off to a good start as usual, along with B26 Mystics, who did back themselves the first 2 games, respectively. Team Riot close by with 20 points. And Team Riot and Xenon have shown that trend which you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Trying to bag up consistency in terms of placement points and trying to get ahead in terms of the leaderboards, where you don't really prioritize the booyah, but you try getting a healthy balance between both kills and the placements. Maybe placing 3rd or 4th ain't gonna hurt that bad if you have a good bit of kills complementing and padding those stats. And one real fan of this format, where we had that really long session towards the league days, is the fact that these teams are real well acquainted with each other, right? Everybody knows how the other's mentality is, what their decision making is going to be like, and that just builds up for even better Free Fire action.
Absolutely. Something which really turns the table, to be honest, was Team P26's elimination in the second game. They had the booyah in the first game, but as soon as the second game started, I guess they got eliminated in 12th position, and now that's something which is not very good. Talking about the MVP of the last game, though, Agent Subir, I mean, with 7 kills, we know for a fact that this team, they are manhunters out there in a group of Free Fire players. I mean, these guys from Team Agent, they can absolutely rip your team apart. And that is exactly what they did. 14 kills out of that, 7 kills from a single player. OG, imagine getting 7 kills in a single game. Can you do it? I mean, I know for a fact I'll never be able to do it.
I mean, I'd be sweating bullets if I was against him. I'm not gonna lie here. The amount of firepower in Agent EXP has been nothing that they've been hiding from us all throughout the tournament. They've been stellar all throughout, top to bottom. And that's a team that really has confidence, right? That's what you need when you're entering the grand finals. That's what you need when you're going to be crowned the champion of Bangladesh, which we're going to find out today. And in all honesty, Agent EXP setting a real good trend and an example for everybody else in the server.
Absolutely. I guess we were having this conversation with Team Agent EXP. They were probably trying to tone down the aggression in the later half of the league stage, but I guess they are at their very best when they are at their aggressive best. Certainly when they go for kills, they are absolutely ruthless, and you don't really want to tone down the aggression if that's working for you. If a strategy is working for you, if an approach is working for you, then that's fine. Just go about it. I know for a fact that going aggressive early on or going for kills like a hungry young man, that is certainly a very risky move, but if it's working for you, then it's working for you, man. There's no denying it. And certainly Team Agent, they returned back to their former selves in the second game, and I guess they'll do that in the third game as well. But we'll have to wait out for it. At the moment, though, we have 4 teams on our screen. Team Jawbreakers slowly approaching Team P26. Now, we have to remember that Team P26 got eliminated pretty early on, and I'm pretty sure Jawbreakers, I have probably no idea that nobody was actually holding that position. Now, we have all the 4 players of Jawbreakers perched up outside the compound. Anything can happen, OG, but which team are you rooting for?
I think I've had to root for B26 here. Their placement of the landmine seems good, so the entry point's going to be a little choked. Let's see how Jawbreakers approach this situation, because we know them to be very versatile and very great thinkers, right? It's going to require a real extraordinary level of game sense to anticipate this, but we know that they have that housed within their roster. They've opted in for the smart decision, which we see a lot of teams do in Kalahari, which is try to delay the fight, prioritizing their position, knowing that rushing in ain't really gonna yield the most best and the most consistent results. Hence, the fight being called off means that it's gonna be shade for another day. They're gonna try and prep up to perhaps the next circle, which is already spawned and in their favor. This is what they were going for. Now they have a good opportunity to try gatekeeping the teams that come from their west, if I'm not mistaken. This also helps build up a real deadly arc where we have B26, we have Jawbreakers. If we add in maybe 2 more volatile teams, that becomes a hot area on the map.
That is absolutely going to be a hot area. To be honest, that's a very high traffic area in the map, the refinery region. But talking about the sub, we have Team Infinity. One of the teams who I actually thought to be one of the hot favorites, but we didn't really see a promising performance as of yet. But talking about performance against Team Extreme EX, they start showering those bullets. One player is already down for Team Riot, using the 2 walls to provide some sort of cover. But 77 MD, he fell to death. What? And I guess he was pretty low on HP when he actually jumped down and he had to fall dead. But Team Riot, though, they have an opening at this point. But eventually, they're not going to push their aggressive foot forward. Actually, Anaf is actually going to do that. The rest of the team, they're falling back. Now, this is a split strategy, which I don't really understand. Now, Alvi does get a flank in. I guess he realizes one player is trying to flank, and he will try and shut that down. Eventually, Hamim is in a very vulnerable position. He can actually get shut down at any particular point in time.
Yeah, this priority of keeping numbers up is real smart from Riot, knowing that the numbers game is going to be real crucial as the time progresses, and committing everything to this fight is not really needed, right? Riot are taking it slow and steady. The nade comes in, forcing out the chrono yet again from 7-7, but Hamim has been knocked and now is getting taken care of in the back lines. This is what Riot does best. They slow it down, but they tear you, making it a grueling fest for them to enjoy. And it's working so far. Ambush Esports now on the aggressive stance against Electro. They're good for the first kill, but Reflex does get down though. Electro trying to disengage on the back of it. Ambush Esports simply not relenting. TMZ running his way to cover, but they do manage to find the drop on Reflex. That means Ambush Esports now going to be a man down, have a difficult decision to make. Do they try and go all in on this fight, or did they try to disengage and risk potentially getting backstabbed in rotation? Nice shot coming in from Fresher, landing a couple of tags through the glue wall, but there are players waiting right underneath this cliff, and it's only one man, granted, but any damage they do to this team might just impact how they play on placements. And hey, Ambush Esports, they don't sweat after their initial player gets down. Rather, they played cool, they played calm, they played collected, and they managed to get the squad wipe. This is what you need. This is how you play the Uno reverse card in perfection. And the rotation's gonna come in. They're gonna find themselves completely vacant over at Foundation, which does allow them to build up for the final fight. On the other end, Agent, a team that, again, something we've seen a lot from, are still trying to take these long-range fights. You normally do not want to try taking such long-range fights just due to the fact that you can't really confirm the kills, and thereby you give away your position and also risk a third party. This is something that they need to try and be methodical about as well. So, do they have it in them to try and hold their ground? Because sure, they have the advantage when it comes to verticality, but it also leaves them a little exposed, and that's something that you really need to be careful of in Kalahari. Oh boy, I thought I was seeing that wrong for a second. I just wanted to clean my glasses, but that was Team Xenon just taking Express into the zone itself and right into the fight. I think Alamin is a little late to the action, which does allow Xenon to potentially be picked off here. Ambush Esports having the range to their favor are having a field day. Another knock and Alamine is down. It's all on a Shifa to potentially either try playing for placements or try and get a revive up. Either way, it's gonna be a hard ask. The blue wall to try and go for added cover. I think by the corner of his eye, he should see Zaid trying to sneak his way to the circle, but he was in no position to fight whatsoever. Rather, let's ambush esports, holding strong from foundation and trying their very best to gatekeep Jawbreakers. The grenade launcher is out. Refresh the max 7 close and very personal, but Sadness gets it down on the Fearless. This is turning out to be a nightmare. Where Ambush Esports had that initial fight go their favor, they aren't really able to hold on to that momentum and convert upon it. It's left Refresh in a lone wolf situation where he needs to try and play for placements. Infinity, though, get a single kill throughout the map. They have built up for the stage. Santo has been taken out. This is Infinity's map to perhaps try and get on the board. Sadly, it isn't going well in their favor as Jawbreakers, being the menace they are, have put a stop to that dream, leaving Nubin all to himself to try and survive. The zone's gonna potentially push him out, but Freak, he's a little bit greedy for that kill. Swag, another long-range fight. You don't really see much of this in other maps, but Kalahari, with how exposed you are once in rotation, this is the main problem you face. How do you deal with teams who already have position and are ready to rain down fire? What a shot at range. The meme really punching the blow. And this is his entire team now playing on complete full cylinders. Simply no questions asked. They unleash all hell, and Agent EXP having to face their wrath. Riot now stand in the open as well. Mind you, both Swag and Riot are playing towards the end of the circle. It's only going to be one team that's all the way in the middle, which luckily Jawbreakers have found a safe haven here, courtesy of that early rotation. Swag, they're being knocked down to pieces. It's all left to Dare God. The blue wall for added cover. And the revive comes in. This is a very iffy situation where we thought Swag would have an advantage, Salty. It's gone the way of Jawbreakers. And a team that you predict is going to do well tries to continue and ride on the momentum.
But there's an army coming up as well. There is team number 6 that is coming in. I guess that's going to be Team Riot, and they can actually spoil all the plans for Team Jawbreakers. At the moment, Freak can actually be a player who can completely shut down the aggression, but that's not really the case. Freak misses all the shots that he tries. But at the moment, Team Riot, they're still having a pocket of space to work with. They have the glue wall to work with as well. Now, Team Jawbreakers, very difficult time to actually manage everything up. Team Riot gets spread into pieces. They're being shredded into pieces at the moment. Two teams are actually trying to create launches. It was Team Swag first, and then comes Jawbreakers. Extreme EXE, one player is still trying to survive, but eventually it's going to be Cheetah. I guess he will try and get his men up on his feet at the moment. What's gonna happen, OG? We have 3 teams and 7 players left. 2 players for Team Swag. They have 9 kills already. They have a high vantage point to work with, but eventually the circle is gonna close in on them initially. Now, if they have to survive for long, they will have to move in. No. Team Jawbreakers are absolutely shredding teams apart. Dagon gets taken down as well. Sorry, 9, the only player who is left. He's pretty sorry at the moment, I'm for sure. He will try and go for the heal battle, but eventually it is fruitless. It is Team Jawbreakers who outshine the competition. Not just outshine, they completely demolished the competition, and there's no way anyone could have done any damage to them.
Yeah, exactly. Jawbreakers in that last circle were in a very tense situation. Yeah, sure, they had the advantage of being in the center of the circle, but they also had the potential of being sandwiched between 2 teams. And that high ground really did play a huge difference there, Salty, as you emphasized. It gave them that vantage point to try and get a couple of kills, but when they had to force the issue, sadly, they weren't really having the best fortune. And Jawbreakers, boy, oh boy, we tried to predict how the rotations would go through, and we did see Jawbreakers opting into an empty foundation where they had so much time to prep up for this final circle. It paid off. It absolutely paid off. And this is turning out to be quite the grand finals, Salty. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen in map 4, because Kalahari has been promising and has delivered with flying colors.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not bragging for a fact, but I predicted 5 teams, and 3 of them have already won Booyahs in the first 3 games. So there's something to it. But what I really liked about Jawbreakers was that they respected the map. All right.
Yeah.
We know for a fact that in Kalahari, you have to always prioritize the rotations, and they did that. We remember how they actually fell back from the fight against, I remember it was Team P26. They prioritized the circle, they prioritized the rotation, and then they got into a good vantage point. Eventually, the position was there, and the kills just came as a byproduct. But Team Electro, they did start things up early on. We thought that the heat is going to be there for quite a long time, but eventually, I'm not quite sure in which particular position did they get eliminated out, but I feel that if Team Electro can actually put up the same performance or carry on their form one game or the other, they'll get a big booyah. And that big booyah can actually make a lot of difference, OG. I mean, this is not a format where your points get converted into league points or there's no league point conversion. If one game is good and you pop off the charts, you definitely have a very good chance of coming up in the top 5 or at least the top 3.
Yeah, and this was the point in the game where Jawbreakers really settled their foot into the action. They were able to get a solid understanding of how the rotations is going to play out. Of course, they did force out so many fights, which did give them information on a variety of teams that were ahead of them. Which ultimately did pay off, like we did say. But you also need to consider the fact that in a map like Kalahari, we've seen a lot of finishes towards the refinery. We've not really seen much towards Foundation, but with the way this terrain did work, grenade launchers were somewhat of a beauty to watch. Sadly, we didn't have many players up with grenades, hence we didn't have as much impact as we're accustomed to having. And hey, Swag, we've mentioned on how it's really important for teams at this stage to play off the placements as to how that's going to be the golden egg that rewards you later, right? Swag did exactly that, and they get rewarded. What we need to see from Swag, though, is more consistent performances on map 4, map 5, map 6, whatever they have, just keep throwing it at them, because what they did in Kalahari actually worked.
Absolutely, I guess with 9 kills or almost like 10 kills and a 3rd position or a 2nd position finish, that's like a lot of points in one single game. And we know for a fact that Team Swag has always been like consistent in the first 2 games as well. So if they match it up with the Booyah in the upcoming 3 games that are yet to come, I guess they have a very good chance of completely outshining the competition. But eventually everything is going to come down to the numbers, and we're going to have a look at the numbers right up front. The standings are on your screens right now. This is the current standings, of course. Jawbreakers winning the game. And also, due to the consistency and the number of kills, they completely like dethroned Team Agent, and that's actually surprising, OJ, isn't it?
Yeah, that's quite remarkable considering that before the start of Game 3, we did see that Agent were more than comfortable in the first place. Now it's Jawbreakers proving that nobody in this Bangladesh derby can even sense any bit of comfort. Every single second lost is a potential point lost, and it's a potential placement point away from that throne. You know that some of these players have their heart, sweat, and mind infused within this game. Jawbreakers, Agent EXP, TM Swag, they're shining on the top of the leaderboard, but make no mistake, every single team in the grand finals has more than enough potential to make it all the way back at the top. Everybody else can be considered a dark horse, and nobody has reached any point of safety whatsoever. It's still gonna get more heated, which is hard for me to believe as well.
It's an illusion, my friend. Like, this is the biggest tournament in the history of Bangladeshi Free Fire, and you expect teams to be safe, especially in the grand finals? Of course not. There is no safety, my friend. I mean, these guys, they're on a suicide mission. It's just like who survives the end of it. But eventually, Team Jawbreakers find themselves some sort of buffer. Like, there is a 6-point buffer between them and Team Asian. I expected both these 2 teams to actually go out against each other and really show it up. Like, I expected there's going to be a lot of cutthroat competition, and there it is. Like, served on a platter, hot and ready to just feast upon. I guess the audience is enjoying this as much as I am, because Jawbreakers and Asian, they've been almost dominant throughout the tournament. And now that there is like a finale between them, there's a climax that is being set up for the final 3 games. It is just so amazing to watch. Up next, we have Bermuda. The flight is already on, and the players are dropping in. I expect a pretty safe drop location early on, but just like we saw early on, OG, the first Bermuda game, it was pretty aggressive, and I expect no different. So at the moment, I guess the teams are still trying to take their drop locations. Two teams are trying to go towards observatory. We have a fight bring up already. Team Jawbreakers. Sadness is actually rushing in with the P90. We have Team GB2L. We have another team as well. This is Team... I believe this is Team Rage. I'm not quite I might be mistaken. But this is one player who's already down. Team Jawbreakers. They're feasting on the kills at the moment. They get 2 kills. They get 2 kills from GB2L. They get kills from Team Rage as well. And now there is nothing that is preventing Team Jawbreakers to just go in and have a picnic out there. But OG, mind you, we have a lot of early fights happening in Observatory, which was a high tier loot zone. We have Team Asian, and now they're actually taking on Team Ambush Esports. We have seen this fight quite a bit, and Team Ambush Esports never really have come on the right end of it. I guess in this particular fight as well, they won't really be able to do that. 3 kills already for Team Asian and Team Ambush Esports. I wonder where's the last player. Where is he hiding?
Regardless where he's hiding, I feel like the two teams who have been having a blast of a day have just been given a gift, an olive branch, if you say so yourself, to a potential landslide in the leaderboards. This, quite frankly, scares me a little, Salty, because we know what kind of beasts that both players from Agent and Jawbreakers can be, right? When you give them this good of a start, especially when they've been given a nice head start already, you're just adding to the fuel, and the fire is going to burn even brighter.
You know, like those sports cars which run already pretty fast, and then you add boosters to them. It's like adding boosters to these teams as well. But they've had a good start, and now it just remains to convert them as well. 3 kills for both sides, I believe. But Team Agent, they have the high tier loot zone to work with. A lot of utilities, a lot of weapons, I believe, will be in their arsenal. Team Jawbreakers, they've feasted on the kills of 2 different teams. I guess it was Team Rage as well as Team, I believe it was GB2L as well. So now that we have 2 teams with 3 kills already, it remains to be seen how these 2 teams actually proceed for the rest of the game, because we might see these 2 teams actually fall back upon and go on a passive approach and try and prioritize the positioning. But then you can also expect these 2 teams to just go out there and probably get those big daddy numbers, like, 20 kills and whatnot.
Yeah, and adding to that point, again, you pointed this out several times before, but it's still an important thing to bring out, where the placement, where both the placement and the kill points, right? Previously, we had the league conversion, but now there's nothing as such, which means it's going to be even harder to potentially get both Jawbreakers and Agent EXP to get to any kind of a grinding halt. And Freak... Yeah, a freaky play in round 3 deserves the MVP without a doubt. I think that Freak has had an amazing tournament so far, and he's just stepping it up when it counts the most. At the grand finals, he stands as confident as you may be. Jawbreakers in beautiful Bermuda, they're gotten a good start. Of course, Mars Electric is open to their loot. They're going to be set up really well for the second circle as well. Recurring trend from the third map, except now they already have the kill points to put along with it.
Absolutely. I guess Cheetah and Freak are 2 players who just play hand in hand. If one player breaks off, the other player plays a support. If the other player just goes off, he just goes off the chart. I mean, if we've seen Team Jawbreakers is Cheetah, right? I mean, that guy has no fear at all. I've seen him running at teams like it's a walk in the park for him with a double vector and completely obliterate them. He infiltrates the positions of the opponent team and just walks past them like they're nothing. Freak did the same thing. He's like a faceless hunter, to be honest. He never really shows himself up quite a bit. It's almost like always Cheetah is making the noise, but then Freak comes in from behind and he's like, wait a minute, I'm your enemy. Fight me. And he just completely destroys the competition. I'm not even sure if that guy is a human, but Team Jawbreakers as a unit, they certainly break a lot of jaws, quite evident to their name.
I mean, in all honesty, Salty, having such precision and incision on a mobile is something that I have almost no ability of doing. It's something that takes a lot of skill, and seeing this skill in action it's beautiful. There's nothing like it, especially when you do see some of these skills with the snipers. It's a thing of beauty, right? With how the penetration works in this game, where we've seen players like Zisan mow people to shred, even without having a single eye on him. It's
Yeah.
something that does add to the element of risk as well. Sure, you have cover from maybe a couple of suppressive fire from maybe a rifle, but you're never safe, even if it's going to be long range or close range. Because we know that some of these players really don't give a hoot about range. They are more than comfortable taking the sniper up close and personal and still getting work done and dusted with. We've seen quite a bit of it, but this spam to try and break that blue wall might give a perfect chance on the re-engagement. Xenon, though, need to be a little cautious. This is where you need to start getting a little worried in terms of your position in the leaderboard. You need to really start making it up in terms of those placement points. Sure, having a couple of kills going alongside it does help a boatload. We've seen that, especially in this especially with the way Jawbreakers are having their day-to-day. But when they're up against Team Infinity, I feel like that's a fight that they might want to avoid, considering they don't have any distinct advantages heading into that engagement.
Absolutely. We have Team Jawbreakers right now. They have two teams in front of them. One is going to be Team Rage, of course, and the other is going to be Team Riot. Now, Team Rage is already one man down. Team Jawbreakers have an inherent advantage to work with at this point. I guess they have some cover to play with as well. While Team Rage, they only have two walls to work with. One shot connects. I mean, OG, you know for a fact that these guys, their fingers are insured by $1 million deals. They are no normal fingers on the screens, of course. But Team Jawbreakers, I mean, we have mentioned it time and time again. They're not just freaks on the game as well. Their gunpowder is certainly unmatched, but they also play with their heads. They realized a situation where they didn't really have an inherent advantage. Their positioning was not really the best, considering that they had the low ground to work with. They immediately fall back and fall back from the fight. Team Riot comes in from behind, gets a backstab connected, and Team Rage are completely done and dusted. At this moment, we have another fight growing up. This was Team Xenon and Team Extreme EXE. Both of these two teams have been staring at each other, glaring at each other for quite a while. Now, all that remains is to see what action are we gonna get. Schiffer is still trying to close the distance, not really taking in some shots. 77 MD running out in the open. That could have been a very risky move, but Schiffer delaying the fight whatsoever. Now, Anonto still tries to confirm the kill for himself, and he eventually will. Team Extreme EXE have one man less to work with. Now, I guess Team Xenon, they have the perfect opportunity to press the kill switch and go for the rest of the players. 2 players against 4. I guess the math is against them.
The math is against them, and so is fate, unfortunately. Xenon played that to absolute perfection. If I'm not wrong, it is Shifat who tried to close the distance with the MP5 and then pull the trigger. That was perfect timing and perfect patience in display. Not only was he in a real good position to try and strike a fatal blow, but he also made sure his team is not far behind to try and have... Oh, wait, what? Is
this glue wall flying?
I think Gravity.exe stopped responding to that one. Putting that aside, this still is a real good deal for Xenon. Now they need to potentially try and get into a good position before the second circle zones them in. Agent are in the distance, and Infinity have just given their whereabouts away. That's something you definitely don't want to be giving agents. Your location, your address, it's not safe in their hands.
Especially if it's in Bhima Sakti Strip. I mean, this is such a high traffic area. You almost get every other team rotating from Bhima Sakti Strip, and a fight is going to brawl like every other second. If I'm Team Infinity, I would not have given my position away. Expect or just wait for the team to approach you, catch them off guard, and take them down. That would be my motto. But eventually, Team Infinity, they're just gonna shoo away the infiltrators. At the moment, Team Agent Ornov is down. Of course, Team B26 have a vantage point up top. Now, that is a very good position, OG. Even though that is pretty obvious that they are going to play from the high ridge, I feel that with no cover whatsoever and a single hut in the vicinity, I guess Team Agent can actually be choked, because there are teams coming in from other directions as well. But talking about some other fights, Team Swag, they find themselves in front of another team. We've seen a lot of gunshots already. This is the second circle as of yet, OG. And I feel that these teams, they have the approach to fight, which is a good thing, to be honest, because initially we have seen, especially in the play-ins, we have seen teams to just fall back, especially if they find a team right in front of them. They see some gunshots, they hear some gunshots, and they fall back immediately. But that is not the case in the finals. These guys, they have intent to fight.
Yeah, and it seems like Extreme EX sadly has to concede in this one. Electro rolling in with the drive-by, and it's as easy as said than done. Like you said, the numbers play a huge part in this game, and the trade just does not come through. Electro, with the 2 kills that they have in this map, they really, really need to try and play at least for second place. That's the only way Electro have any kind of hope of a resurgence.
Yeah.
Here in the grand finals, Jawbreakers off to a flying start already with 4 kills, and they've been lucky to find those multiple third parties like you said, Salty. And it's just another free kill going in the pocket. Hey, money is money, right? We have some of the best teams, the top 12 teams in Bangladesh, duking it out here for 25 lakh takas. Money might not be an incentive for some, but you also do get crowned the champion of Bangladesh. That is what these teams are fighting for, Salty. And so far,
Absolutely.
every single team has delivered a fight. There's been no team that is here without any kind of justification, right? Everybody has had their highlights. Everybody has had their days where they look unstoppable. Sure, Agent, EXP, and B26 are some of the teams who have been a little more fortunate and getting more consistency in that department, but that does not negate the fact that all these teams are at a similar caliber and still have the chance to turn the tables and turn the switch on what we think is going to happen.
Absolutely, man. I agree to that 100%. I guess each and every one of these teams are almost of this equal caliber. I mean, the finals is a place where the stakes are so high. Like, there is such a wide margin of both success and failure. Imagine you get a good form, you get a day where every shot you take is just connecting whatsoever. I guess that is one day which you would really want to be in the finals. But if it is not your day, to be honest, it's not your fault. Every professional player goes through that particular phase. I guess it just takes time to get some sort of consistency. And I guess Team Agent, as well as the other teams who have been very consistent, they've been playing for a very long time, to be honest. The synergy that we get to see, the players, the way they play in tandem with each other, that does not happen overnight. And I guess that is the reason why they're really consistent, because that is a team that is made up of 4 match winners. You don't really get to see a single player carrying it. I mean, a lot of people talk about Zishan, but rarely we get to see a lot of talking about Subir or Orno. But these guys are match winners in their own right. I've seen every one of those players in one day or the other get almost like over 5 kills. Jamil, this guy, he had 9 kills in one particular game. I remember that. And like, that is insane. If you have those players of those caliber, consistency is going to be there. I guess that is something which the other teams are just supposed to build up. This is the first Premier tournament in Bangladesh. I guess we will have a lot more. And these teams, they have so much room for improvement.
Yeah, I like this hillside of the peak where we have some of the deadliest teams in action. Now Agent slowly going to push into the compound where Infinity lie and wait. Now, you know that Agent EXP are a real fan of getting into the action, getting down in the dirt, and getting real intense when it comes to getting both the shotgun and the SMG into the best possible range. But Infinity seems more than ready. In fact, they've been camping this position out for quite a while, anticipating and preparing for such a fight. But the man is an absolute beauty, and with the beauty comes the beast. Along with him, he has the rest of Agent flush in the compound. Ornub with the grenade launcher actually ends up downing himself. Quite a comic in this serious fight. And Ornub with the revive has revived both has revised both his mistake and has completely erased his opposition. What a play. Agent, for a second there, it looked like it was going to get iffy, but they managed to retain themselves. They managed to compose themselves and now have to commit on this rotation. Nobin, how is he not trying any pop shots? Is he going to go for the car here? He certainly should be spotted. He's hurt. He's getting shot down at, and there's no mercy. Agent EXP wiping Infinity off the face of Peak and Map 4 are now ready to potentially commit into the final rotation, but we see a lot of teams already waiting this out here at Peak. B26 Mystics making their way into the circle. Right, the nade. This might be the play, Salty. This might be where all hell breaks loose. Right, 2 men down already. The nade from Alvi, it does not connect. The glue wall is just holding him in position, and for now they are being well gate kept out of the circle by Team Electro as they need to fight their way through this compound. Shuvo has been downed. The revive is attempted. The nade though from Shive. Chrono Shield drop. Is it gonna penetrate is the question. No, they don't. Blue wall again dropped for added cover, but this forces them against their own rotation. Essentially, what needs to be done now is they need to break through their own cover to try and stand a chance to get into the circle. And that's exactly where Electros lie in wait. Scythe with yet another dunk. It feels like he's Kobe right now, just dunking them left, right, center in the server. And boy, is it coming real grim here for Riot. Electro, their numbers, it's getting really grim for Electro as well. Numbers really plays a huge factor, but that positioning really helps them out. They're able to get this wipe, cool. If they're able to play for placements thereafter, it'd be a real good game. The landmine's just at the door. Oh, that goes off, but a beautiful juke here from Alvi. Of course, the heal does come in. I assume that's when they force the issue with the shotgun. It is trained to be real effective up close and personal. Are they gonna risk going out of the zone for this?
I'm not sure, OG. I'm not sure that's a good idea, but eventually they are going to go out. Team Riot, the only guy who is still surviving, he will get taken down. Team Electro, they wonderfully deployed those glue walls and converted that entire position into a choke point. All they had to do was lob in those grenades, just like you mentioned, Kobe. He was absolutely a phenom out there, but Team Electro, they have to pave their path inside the circle right now. At the moment, Team Swag is in a position where they can actually gatekeep Team Electro out of the game. And I'm not really sure if Team Electro are going to have it easy. The rotation is going to be a very far-fetched reality for them. Is it going to be a reality or is it going to be a dream for them? I'm not quite sure. Team Agent, though, they've been shut down. And that is a headliner right there. Team P26 was the one who actually did that. But Team Electro, they will have to force in the fight right now. Team Swag, they're going in full headstrong at the moment. 4v2, this certainly is going to be in Swag's favor. But eventually the circle is going to close in. Look at that Team Jawbreakers. Once again, they have a fortress to work with. They have the compounds in their favor, and they're just lobbing in those grenades, those scrolls are shots. Lead is being shot, is being peppered on all the infants out there. They're like the kings who are ruling their own kingdom at the moment. Team Xenon, though, they have the grenade launcher to work with. B26 are in a very crucial position. If they manage to get taken down in this one, I'm not quite sure if B26 are going to be in the top 3 anymore. Team Xenon will be their biggest threat at the moment. Team Jawbreakers, they've shut down the entirety. The entry to the compound is denied, but Cheetah gets taken down. His kill is confirmed, and that is going to be a very big threat to Team Jawbreakers. I'm not quite sure if without Cheetah, this team is going to be as big of a threat to the other teams or not. But eventually, the other teams, that is Xenon as well as B26 Mystics, they're trying to force the issue to the final circle. The final circle is going to draw, and we have only 3 teams and 10 players. The grenades being lobbed in Team Xenon. I guess they have some sort of cover to work with. The circle closes, and OG, I can't really say what's going to happen. Every team has a chance. This is going to be a full-out brawl. I'm not quite sure. Jawbreakers gets taken down. Xenon is still having 2 players on their feet, and eventually they get taken down. Team B26 will come back. Amazing fashion. Another booyah for them. This is insane. 2 booyahs in 2 Bermudas. Boy, oh boy, they have practiced a lot.
What an absolute hell was that last circle. It just feels like every single square inch was so crowded that there was no space to breathe. B26 Mystics alongside all the chaos. That could have just imagine, Salty. We saw this in the previous match where Jawbreakers with that early rotation were able to completely lock down how the last circle plays out, right? They had that exact same circumstance replicated here in Bermuda, but it simply did not pay off. Like you said, that initial loss of Cheetah definitely did cost them a lot. That initial down really hindered their ability to fight back and off the man disadvantage. They tried to rush out of the compound as, of course, the circle did push them out, right? But yeah, we're not used to seeing that same Jawbreakers that we are. Their performance, though, in this map was elegant. They were able to get that initial squad wipe and that extra kill, if I'm not mistaken, from Ambush Esports. From Ambush Esports.
Exactly.
Thereafter knocking Ambush Esports themselves. So they finished off the job they started. Sure, it's not a booyah in their books, but like you said, this does lead the way for more consistent results, which means I'm expecting them to still stay on the top of the leaderboard. This has been a map that certainly has delivered. Bermuda has tried to make the playing field a little more even. Xenon did get a good bit of ground covered here. Let's quickly go through the replays, and like I mentioned, Jawbreakers off to a really good start. That's Team Rage, my mistake. But this initial start did give them that confidence to go for that rotation towards the later part of the game,
Yeah.
which netted them the third place placement, right? At the end of the day, if you're Jawbreakers, you'd be more than happy with how you played out Bermuda. This seems like a team who understands the bread and butter of consistency.
Absolutely. I guess they are still going to be relevant up the top, but eventually I feel that B26, with the kind of booyah they got in this game, they can actually be competing against the top 3, in spite of the fact that they couldn't really show up in the second and the third game, but eventually with 2 booyahs, they are going to be relevant in any tournament whatsoever. We got to see a lot of good action, to be honest, but something which I would really like to mention is that Team Jawbreakers, they had the exact same position in the last circle. They had the compound to work with, which they completely converted into a fortress. They shut down the openings with their glue walls, and they got those kills as well. Like, they were showering in bullets, they were showering in grenades against the inhabitants, and as I said, they were the kings of their own kingdom. But eventually, every king falls. The circle was their undoing. They had no chance whatsoever when the circle actually drew outside the compound. Moving out of the compound, moving out of the choke points which they created themselves, was their own undoing whatsoever.
It was their own undoing, and Electro was a team that I was hoping that would get a little further in this map, but sadly we didn't get to see a lot from them. Xenon, a team that we highlighted prior, a team that not many had in their card, you know, telling that this is my favorite team, or even this is a team that might take the championship home, right? They've played it really well here in Bermuda. I'm real excited, Salty, to see how Team Xenon performs in the last 2 maps. I feel like Xenon is that dark horse that now teams need to look at. They've made themselves real loud with their presence in Bermuda, and hey, with how we've seen a trend at Purgatory being a very, very, very... It's essentially a land of inconsistency, right? You really cannot predict what's going to happen in that map. And I think that sets up Xenon in the perfect position to hit a fatal blow to the leaderboard.
Absolutely. That is going to be the opening where Team Xenon can actually go in and put themselves relevant on the scoreboard. But eventually, me, Salty, as well as OG, we're going to go on a short break, and eventually we'll come back with more action. 2 more games of Free Fire Bangladesh Championship Grand Finals are still remaining, and we still don't know who is going to be the winner. The action is still on. The heat is on as well. Stay tuned.
ভাই একা এখন বেঁচে আছে, যার হাতে পেরা পাল গানটা আমরা দেখলাম, এন্ড টিম ইলেক্টর গান কম্বিনেশন আমার চমৎকার লাগতেছে, কারণ ওদের অনেকজনের হাতে যেমন টিম সিটের হাতে আমরা দেখতেছি।
ইয়েস রিঙ্কু ভাই, এখানে কিন্তু যেটা জিনিস বলার অপেক্ষা রাখে না, সেটা হচ্ছে যে ইলেক্ট্রোর উপরে কম হইলো।
এখন বলি, আমরা হয়তো আমরা মিনিমাম খেয়াল করছি টিম 5 ছিল উপরে, টিম 5 এর পাল্লায় জেবিটুয়েল পড়ে গেছে। যেখানে ইনফিনিটি জেবিটুয়েল
দিয়ে বলা যায়। তো এখানে টিম রায়ট কিন্তু প্রচন্ড অ্যাগ্রেসিভ, তারা 2 জন ডাবল ভেক্টর নিয়েছে এবং ডাবল ভেক্টরের খেলা কিন্তু আমরা দেখছি দুজনের কাছ থেকে। ওকে, এখানে কিন্তু রায়ট মারুফ কিন্তু ডাউন, তাকে হিল করা হবে হয়তো, বা হিল করে ফেলা পসিবল হবে। টিম সায়ানাইট করছে, টিম সায়ানাইটের সাথে কিন্তু আমরা দেখছি 12 নম্বর টিমও একটু দূরে আছে। তো এখানে কিন্তু টিম সায়ানাইট ভার্সেস রায়ট একটা ফাইট দিচ্ছে। রায়ট কিন্তু কোনো ম্যানকে এখনো পর্যন্ত হারায় নাই, সায়ানাইটে কিন্তু একজন মেম্বার নাই, আমরা সেটা জানি, একটু আগেই দেখেছি। তো দেখা যাক এখানে কিন্তু ওকে ওকে হ্যালো পিপল, কি অবস্থা সবার? চলে এসেছি FFBC 2021 এর একেবারে ফাইনালে, গ্র্যান্ড ফাইনালের দিনে কিন্তু আমরা চলে এসেছি। আপনাদের সাথে আছি আমি আহমেদ অনন্য মাসুদ, আমাদের সাথে আছে সারফারাজ, বুচার্স আউটল এবং ইলিউশনিস্ট ভাই। হ্যালো এভরিওয়ান।
হ্যালো, হ্যালো, হ্যালো।
তো
এই তো
গাইস,
রিঙ্কু ভাই ভালো আছি। কি অবস্থা আপনার?
এই তো ভালো আছি সারফরাজ। বুচার ভাই কি খবর আপনার?
ভালো আছি। আপনাদের কি অবস্থা?
এই তো নাইস।
আচ্ছা, তো গাইস আমরা হচ্ছে যে ফাইনালে চলে আসছি। ফাইনালের 12টা টিম কিন্তু আমরা অলরেডি জেনে গিয়েছি। আমরা সবার উদ্দেশ্যে একবার 12টা টিমকে বলে দিব। আমাদের সাথে আজকে ফাইনালে ফাইট করবে B26, আমাদের সাথে ফাইট করবে অ্যাম্বুশ স্পোর্টস, টিম রায়োট, GB12, টিম জেনন, টিম এক্সট্রিমেক্স।
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Free Fire Bangladesh Championship. My name is Ranjit Mamba, Senior Patel, and alongside me, joining me once again, is the magician of words. She is Tanya. Tanya, coming back from the break, we've seen B26 start off, the day with a bam, and now then again getting a booyah once again, having 2 booyahs already. You think they are safe?
Whatsoever, are they safe, are they not? But certainly they are the masters of Bermuda on the day of finals. That means just imagine winning away one Bermuda match, it's okay, but then bagging both the booyahs in Bermuda. They are certainly the masters. Let's see, let's head towards the recap of the day. By far, B26 Mystics, round 1 they won away the booyah, followed by Agents. It was a strong comeback coming from Agents for the next round, which was Purgatory, followed by Kalahari. Jawbreakers literally broke all the jaws around them and won away the booyah. And then comes the repetition from B26 Mystics. It was the second booyah for them and second booyah, second Bermuda match as well. Now we are down to last 2 matches. What do you think, Mamba? Are we going to get to see hat trick today coming from B26 Mystics? Because if we talk about today, I've never seen we cannot easily predict. Yes, this is the team who has got an easy chance. This team might take away. It is always shaky. The shifts are taking someone towards the down, some are getting to the top. So do you think, are we going to get to see a hat trick today coming from B26?
You never know. You actually never know. We could see a hat trick coming from either Jawbreakers or the Agent as well, because both of them also have a booyah each. I mean, they could go and get back-to-back booyahs. So, it's not just B26. Anyone can go out there and get a hat trick, or maybe there could be a team which can come in now, even though they've not had a single booyah, and get 2 back-to-back booyahs. So, anything is possible in this match. Anything is possible in this game. And given that it's a grand final, it's the last 2 games, we still don't have the results in yet. There's no clear winner. And it is so fitting of a grand final. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hop into game number 5, which is going to be Purgatory, the map that Tanya and I signed off on, the second game. And, the plane has taken off. I was just about to ask our audience to fasten their seatbelts, but then we see our players is jumping in. So, it's going to be interesting to see what actually happens.
Absolutely. This time around, Team Electro is sharing the grounds with Team Riot. Let's see, Team Rage it is. And are they going to initiate the fight? Because certainly in first 2 matches, Team Electro did pick up for some fight, had a loss of players early on, and then went back foot this time around. Maybe being the final 2 matches, you have to go YOLO. The reason is you cannot keep it quiet, keep it calm. You have to be composed, calm, everything. But keeping all that aside, you have to make sure you get so much of kills, because from here on, every point does matter. But did you see something? Agents went towards Moat House wanting to play all passive, and Team Riot fighting against GB2L. It is Shua who did take 1 knock and he tried to connect some shots to Fleps as well, but Fleps he has successfully moved out of the range of firing shots, and now is all safe to play for future maybe.
Yep, now it's all safe to play for the future maybe. But at the same time, I do want to talk about, Riot in general today. It's been a little underwhelming, if you ask me, because they were more than capable of going out there and winning this competition outright with a massive margin. I mean, all the 12 teams over here are capable of going out there and winning the tournament. But I believe that maybe the nerves got the better of them. They could not get off to a flying start. But this time around, they are the ones who got the first kill. So let's just hope that they can carry on with this momentum and maybe get at least 1 booyah and then, battle it out in the top 3, or maybe get a back-to-back booyah and then compete for the top 2.
Yeah, let's see. Are they going to compete for the top 2? Because henceforth, everything is going to get way more heated up than it was. And as you have initiated talk about Team Riot, they were on position 4, so they still stand a chance. Maybe not on position 1, certainly, but maybe in top 2 to top 3, they do stand a chance. And if you look at GB2L Esports, they've lost 1 player and they are into bottom 2. So maybe this might be the team. It is actually into the final matches. It is not the top teams those are performing it. Those are the bottom teams who give their best possible shot with the expectation they might rise up. And in that course, they also hamper the performances of the top teams. Let's see if GB2L is pushing themselves up, or are they trying to pull Team Riot down? Because either ways, Team Riot might not reach the top 3 if they get eliminated early on. And Team GB2L doesn't have much to lose as of now.
That is true. They don't have a lot to lose, but at the same time, what is interesting is the fact that Riot has 1 kill and they're still the kill leaders, and it's just funny. It's just funny to me to see a team being a kill leader with only 1 kill. But then again, they've started off very nicely. They are playing the edge of the map, not in the zone. They're literally playing at the edge of the map. And they do have a team coming in, if I'm not mistaken. That is Team Rage, Riot versus Rage. This is going to be an interesting fight, but let's have a look at the scoreboard once and see what does the scoreboard say to us. But Jawbreakers with 62 points on top, Agent EXP right behind them, and then we have TM Swag with 49, B26, even with 2 Booyahs, they've not been able to close in on the gap. That is consistency from Jawbreakers.
Jawbreakers are the kill-hungry teams. They are trying to get as many kills possible with only 1 booyah. Look at the difference. It is worth of 1 booyah. 12 points. Agents need to work out a lot in this match around, or the difference might get too much that they cannot chase it smoothly. Let's see what they are going to do when they get when we see them. And yes, we are seeing certainly B26. They are into the highest resource zone near to the quarry, and look at the amount of loot they have. Not much. Nubi having only 1 glue wall into the highest resource zone. I don't know what they have been doing, because it is already 4 minutes down. They must have had so much choice of weapons. If we talk about it, is everybody is having a good weapon. If you are holding snipers, we are holding ARs, but I'm missing the double vectors. Anybody is holding or no? And for B26, they did take away the booyah in previous round, but now we get the answers. MVP is having only 2 kills, so maybe not with much of kills in the previous round. They do get the strong standing points, which is total of 12 points. Matters too much.
Yes, indeed. But talking about player of the match, of course, we have Shots with 2 kills. And even though that might not sound like a lot, it's the impact that really counts. And sometimes the impact of the frags far outweigh the number of frags that a player has. But nonetheless, that shield came in right on time. And talking about Rohan, he has the double vector coming in, but the nade is the thing which is going to dish out so much damage to Amin, who's been knocked down. But Rohan getting a knock for himself is going to finish the person, or no, he wants to actually go around and get one more kill. But nonetheless, does turn around when he does have backup coming in to get that final kill for his team. So Rage in a decent position, but they'll have to do a lot more than just decent to try and get up there.
Yeah, they have to be consistent. They have to be strong. They have to eliminate the opponents. Are they going to be successful? But if we talk about Brasilia, Jawbreakers, all 4 players intact, have not managed to take a single knock. But look at Ambush Esports. They have lost 2 players already, or maybe even more, because I cannot count more than 2 players. So maybe they have lost. But who did eliminate the players? That is going to be one of the questions. And certainly now Jawbreakers take the situation into their hands. They're able to take the first frag by far, and now we are down to only 1 man standing into Ambush Esports. Team Riot, after taking 1 kill, they did take a fallback, but they want to fight out against GB2L only because they did disengage at that point of time. And certainly the rotations coming from both the teams, they have collided once again. Fleps this time could not save himself. He's already down. The blue wall also did not work any wonders. So 2 kills already into the bags of Team Riot. If we talk about Jawbreakers, they are still rooting for more kills, and you have to go kill hungry. 1 more player is down. They are not wanting to confirm that kill. Sadness indeed is trying to race the fearless last man standing there and give the confirmation. Let's see, is he going to be successful though?
Well, if it's going to be successful or not is something time will tell us eventually, obviously. But for now, we do have EXE trying to push in. But the question is, are they actually going to pick that fight? They do want to pick that fight and go in. So Freak is going to jump out of the window. Not the wisest of choices jumping from the second floor, but as long as you don't break your legs doing that, kids, don't try this in real life. You're gonna break something. But Freak, in the meantime, just waiting it out outside the house. Jawbreakers, they want to take this fight. They are not falling back. They have the confidence. They have the score to prove it. And they are going to play by the strength and strong arm their opposition.
Giving the best. They are the lead. They are the table toppers. They are on position 1. All they got to do is just maintain, but still look at the play they want to give. They are pushy. They are trying to push the fights everywhere they can. They just made one of the players, Ambush Esports, run away from here, or maybe he was thoroughly eliminated. And right now they're picking the fight against Extreme X's. And I think this time around they are going to wait because if we talk about Ambush Esports, they exactly knew where the person was, where the opponents were this time around. They need to scout a little bit and then initiate the fight. Team Riot, after getting 3 kills, they've got one player who is knocked down. Let's see how they're going to head towards saving the teammate, because saving your numbers means a lot henceforth, because we're already 8 minutes down to the match, and now we're left with only 10 minutes. But we do have 11 teams still playing. It is going to be Team Rage with 4 kills already and fighting against Team Riot. Team Riot just lost one player here, and now it is going to be Zone who will create even more trouble, because then they also have to decide. Look at the rotation. They are going through the blue circle. They have lesser of risk from blue zone than they have the risk against the opponents.
That is true. But given the fact that Chieflet is still trying to take a couple of shots on the opposition, he needs to calm down over there, because, I mean, sure, you know for a fact you can connect the shots, then go ahead, be my guest. At the same time, you need to have some eyes out, because there is a flank coming in from team number 7, which is Team Swag, and now the problem for Zenon is... Wait, hold on. It's not Team Swag, is it?
Certainly, it was not Team Swag, but at this point of time, it is Team Agent who are trying to climb up against Jawbreakers. They have to fight. They have to win this battle against Infinity. Infinity's 3 players are into the caravan. One grenade can entirely eliminate 3 players. And Arnab also has 3 throwables. He's not wanting to use. Maybe he's waiting for the perfect timing when he's very sure of if he throws one grenade, he definitely gets at least one knock. And I see some third party interacting over here, and that third party is going to be Team Swag, the team that you were talking about. Now the fight is going to be way more interesting than it was, because certainly Infinity within a caravan are still safe. They have the hard cover. Team Agents don't have that sort of hard cover. So third party Team Agent is going to be way smoother and easier for Team Swag.
Yep, but talking about Zishan, in the meantime, he is going to try and take a couple of shots. Do the shots connect though? That is going to be a question, but Zishan wants to take these fights. He doesn't want to hold back at all, and I feel that he's a little too trigger happy. Whenever he does get the opportunity, he wants to take it up and go out there and make a difference. At least dish out some damage. And at the same time, he's a sniper as well, so it's easier for him to dish out damage. Unless, of course, when you miss your shot, then you spend half a second contemplating your entire life before you can load up the second bullet if you're using a single sniper. But double snipers is just OP. That's it. That's one word. Overpowered. Actually, 2 words, but yeah, you get the point.
Yeah, definitely. I got the point, and it takes a lot to master that double sniper, because you're very well aware as the circle closes in, you'll have nothing to fight with except for 2 snipers. But recently, I have been seeing something else as well, Mamba. Walk-in shot coming from snipers as well, just like so flawless, as if they were some SMGs, and on point they get the knockers, they get the confirms. So now snipers are also working other way around for the close call fight. But at this point of time, we already see a combat coming in. It is going to be Shabir who takes the first knock against Team Infinity, and now they're rushing. This is the perfect time, and now the throwables come into the play. One player is already down, and now maybe counting to the second one, the kills are getting confirmed. The shredding machine, Jamil, shredding the opponents with the double vector. They have confirmed 2 kills, 2 more players to go who are into the other small shack. Let's see how successful are they going to go ahead. But I do appreciate that exact knock coming from the grenade. That is what I wanted to see when you are stuck into a small caravan. Their grenades do an easier job, but this time around, taking a rush in did not pay what they wanted to. Jamil down, Arnab down, Sabir rushing into trying to save his teammate. Is he going to be successful though? Now Zishan is also down. It's all up to Shabir. Sabir successfully eliminated Team Infinity. In the course, they lost Arnab. Don't you think it is going to be a humongous loss for this team?
Yep, it is going to be a humongous loss for the team, that is for sure. But we still have 10 teams and 26 players. And Purgatory, again, just being so unpredictable. We are still in the second zone, 12 minutes in. And average number of players alive for each team is 2.6. That's literally half the team for every single half the team for every single team out there. And it's just incredible to see that there have been so many fights, but the teams are still somehow hanging on, and Gordon wants to go in and get that flag, but he is going to be shown his place by shots from B26 and not allowing him, asking him to, just walk away very calmly, but does get the kill on him. So that was quite fortunate for B26. For Rage, not so much.
B26 lost a little too much, I'm afraid, because they are into top 4. They need to make sure the consistency is on to win up. And you're already aware this is the second last match, and now you only have one match to play with. And if you lose at this point of time, chasing in last match is going to be it is going to be very terrible when you know the numbers are quite too high. If we talk about Team Swag, losing to players, 1-2 kills alongside, and now they're fighting against Team Zenon. Team Zenon is also surviving as the trio, so let's see how long can they survive, because certainly I do see two players who are trying to move out of the fight area, and it is Ananto who is still waiting and watching if he's able to get some knocks or kills. Is he going to be successful though, because Ananto is also moving back? Their god has a chance over here to take some knocks and kills, giving a perfect backstab that is needed. And yes, I see Shefat did confirm one of the player who is sorry coming from Team Swag, and it is the Team B26 Mystic who is eliminated out of the server. That is what I was telling. Now for the next match, it is going to be double the pressure.
For the next match, it is definitely going to be double the pressure because, hey man, if you can't perform in the penultimate game of the tournament, then the last match, especially if you need to make a massive leap, or you need to take a massive leap in the scoreboard, it is going to add up to the pressure. But Jawbreakers are still surviving. They're inside the zone there, and they have so much cover to work with. Brasilia ends exactly where Jawbreakers are. Agent, in the meantime, might actually be able to, get a fight with Riot, who are dead in the center of the zone. But TMZ, look at that though. Electro TMZ is going to try and go in for the long rotation, but I don't think he's going to be able to survive over there.
Even I'm afraid. Look at Team Zenon just trying for that one kill point. They're just racing there. This is what proves that every knock, every kill matters. Team Riot try to gatekeep, not actually gatekeep, but trying to stop agents from conquering one of the biggest compound, because as soon as they take an entry here, they know they are under very good threat, and they've also realized it is going to be team agents. It has been already 10 days they're playing now. They're very well aware about the clothing, about the uniforms, and when you take a scope in, you definitely know that team agents are pulling in, rushing in. Alongside team agents, it is Team Swag who is also trying to take an entry here this time round. Maybe it is going to be team agents who can take the advantage, take some kills. But if we talk about Team Riot, I think they are willing to get so much of kills. They are trying to threaten team agent to take an entry.
Yep, they are trying to threaten the opposition to try and take an entry, but then again, it doesn't always work. When it does work out, it pays off its dividends really, really well. But Team Riot, in the meantime, they have 4 kills to work with. Electro has been eliminated, position number 8. There's 4 more minutes to go. And 7 teams, 18 players. And we've been seeing... Ooh, wait, is it trying to take off? Okay, then. Freak is going to connect that shot. Nope, he won't.
Freak cannot afford to miss this sort of shots, and certainly I do see some of good jumping and moving ahead strategy coming from Team Riot. How safely he just went away in front of his crosshair, which is certainly not seen, because we have seen the perfection coming from Freak, particularly when he's using snipers. Team Riot is having the advantage of height, but the meta which I always used to say, height is equal to advantage, now I take back my words. It is not always the same. Height is not always an advantage, and certainly for this particular situation it is not. They also have to make a move within the circle, but to make a move within the circle, they are able to gatekeep the Jawbreakers, the team who is holding position 1 from quite too long. So if Team Riot is able to eliminate this team, I must say it was a commendable match coming from this team.
Indeed, it was a commendable match coming in from that team, but Maroof, in the meantime, is just trying to find some information, get inside the zone as well, find himself a good position so that he can go out there and take those fights whenever the need be. But he's going to wait on the edge of the zone, and I don't think Jawbreakers actually realize there is a player over here, but now he does have a nade launcher. The question is he going to sacrifice himself to get those kills onto Jawbreakers? Nade is going to go in the Chrono Shield coming up, saving him from all the splash damage from the nade. And Maroof has such a nice opportunity. He does actually get the knockout of Freak, but barely surviving over there. He's going to find a flag for himself. Can he find the second one? Nope, he cannot, because the Chrono Shield is going to be saving him right there. He's going to try and break the shield, but this is brilliant gameplay coming in from Maroof. Presence of mind on point, and utility usage even better.
They are getting better and better with every single moment, every passing moment, and as the circle takes a shift. Now it is a fair fight, 3 versus 3. They've managed to take 1 kill, and now they both are into the same height. They are into the same section where they got to make an entry. Cheetah is spotted, takes an Jawbreakers got eliminated on position 6, and this is the right time when agents can go for a booyah and take a huge leap to position 1. If you talk about Jamil, I think he's the solo survivor who is spotted as well, and Team Riot out of nowhere. This time they're creating a lot of chaos, eliminating the strongest team of the server. One which is Jawbreaker, second which is Agent, and now they are trying to eliminate Team Swag. Team Swag, yes, last man is standing, not much to play with, but if we talk about Extreme X's, it is a fair play 3v3. Maruf with a grenade launcher, he can do the deal, but it is Maruf who gets knocked up. Louis down as well. Now it is all down to Shu. How long can he take the responsibility for his team? 6 players on the screen, all 4 standing tall, coming from Extreme X's, and maybe it is a caster curse. One of the players down who's got to be Hameen, usually the highest fragger for the team. Let's see how they're going to engage or disengage, because Team Swag is already eliminated, and on the call of third, we see Riot is also getting eliminated, and it is Extreme X's. This is the first booyah coming from Extreme X's by far.
It might be the first booyah, but it's certainly not the last. And there's still one more match to go on. Now, the question is, are they going to get a back-to-back booyah, or is it going to be someone else? So maybe is it going to be Jawbreakers going out there and getting a booyah and enhancing the lead? But they did get into the top 5. Oh, no, actually top 7. Was it, if I'm not mistaken? But the nade launcher from top was so unfortunate for Jawbreakers, losing out on those players over there. The numbers advantage is very important towards the end. But nonetheless, while we discuss this, I think what would be better is to break down the replays as they happen in a bit. But Tanya, what do you have to say about this game?
Particularly, I like the Extreme X's strong play. And apart from Extreme X's, they did take away the booyah. I have something to talk about Team Riot. How nicely they eliminated top 2 teams of the leaderboard. They managed to gatekeep one. They were not even gatekeeping. They were just battling it out. At one point of time, yes, they were gatekeeping, but ultimately they were parallel. And that is when the throwables started. They started pushing with throwables and the snipers. It was a beautiful play, as if they had already planned to stop Jawbreakers this way. And last man standing coming from Team Agent, they spotted that as well, and they eliminated that team as well. So I must say, Team Riot, they were not performing very good. I cannot say not performing very good. They were consistent. They did manage to get some kills every time. They were into top 6, 7 sometimes. So I must not say they were not very good, not enthusiastic. They were enthusiastic, but this time around they were into the next level.
They're this time into the next level for sure. And I think that's important, right? Because you need to go above and beyond to win a tournament like this.
Yeah.
You need to get out of your comfort zone and play better than the best you have. And only then you have a better chance of winning a tournament of this caliber. So going above and beyond, not surprised over there. But what I really liked is the intent of the teams. And let's have a look at that first. We have the replays lined up for you guys. Tanya, why don't you do the honors?
Yeah, sure. Team Riot initiating the fight, and this was the team that I wanted to talk about, eliminating 2 teams out of the server. But before that, they also were the hindrance to GB2L. Team Rage did show some good battles, won this bridge battle as well. Team Electro was left with only 2 players over here, and the last man standing tried to race out. He raced out to such a level that he had to use the blue circle. He felt safe there, because usually blue circle is equal to a panic mode on. You need to make sure you don't lose much of HP, you don't lose much of health kits, and still you have to reach the circle. So Team Electro was way more threatened to take a fight then of the blue zone. How can you forget the fight coming from Agents, though? How they rushed into the caravan using the grenade, eliminating the players one by one, and then this is where they lost Arnav, one of the strongest men for their team. And I think if Arnav was saved here, the situation would have been entirely different. We all know Arnav is one of the strongest rusher for the team. Indeed, we cannot say strongest. All 4 are strong.
All 4 are definitely strong. They're really, really good. With the kind of gameplay they have, their attacking nature and their intent to go out there and take fights. So, most of the players over here would actually not want to take a step back when they get an option to take a fight, unless, of course, somebody who loves to play tactfully instead of just going brute force. Maybe somebody like that would actually want to play a little passive, but this nade launcher from Maruf. Riot just destroyed Jawbreakers over there, because, see, that kill might just be like, you might feel that it's only 1 kill, but that 1 kill was actually pivotal in terms of slowing down Jawbreakers and taking away a little bit of confidence from them, because their positioning and their spatial awareness was actually not that good.
Yeah, that was definitely not good. Maruf was on the go to eliminate Jawbreakers. It was only one man who took down 3 players from Jawbreakers. But here I felt Maruf had a lot to do. The reason he had grenade launchers to work with, but on the counter, Swag uses the grenade launcher first. They eliminate one by one. The players were getting down, and Extreme X is saving their numbers using the best of weapons, using the cover shields of glue walls. It was just on point. They need to make sure the consistency should be on into the next match as well. This is how they can reach into top 6, and every point counts, every kill counts. So the consistency counts even more when you're able to take some kills, when you're able to take a booyah, because now everybody is blood hungry, kill hungry. Last match everybody is going to go YOLO, so let's see how are the table toppers going to perform, because certainly the teams who are at the bottom of the table, they are going to go very strong. It is just a random prediction that I do, and that I already see quite a few times, that bottom teams have lot to play into the final matches.
They have a lot to play into the final matches, that is for sure. But then talking about Maruf, right? When you mentioned that he had a lot to do, it was so unfortunate his teammate was crossing. And that is why he actually got taken down. It wasn't his mistake. The nade hit his teammate, it exploded. And he went down because of that. If I would have been in this place, I would have been infuriated. Not just sad, upset, angry. I would have been so infuriated and probably threw my phone out of the window, because out of all the things that could happen in a match, in a professional match of this stage, you died because a teammate was crossing you with no fault of his.
Yeah, so with that, they could not take a booyah, but fair enough, they did get position 2. Still, they've eliminated top 2 teams. That is what matters. And now it is going to be Kalahari. I always say this is the map that changes the leaderboard meta, and positioning matters a lot, because the circle shifts are way more cruel compared to other teams. If we talk about Team Rage at this point of time, they are moving quite too far away from other teams. They are heading towards confinement, and it is great to see that they are not sharing the grounds, because this time around maybe Kalahari is a little bit aggressive compared to Purgatory, but I don't think we are going to get initial land and fight. Everybody is going to go for land, save your teammates, but it is Team Electro. Every single map, it is Team Electro picks up fight, and they have, I don't know what other consistency do they have, but landing and fighting and shooting. This is what I'm seeing into the grand finals every single time. This time around, they have picked the battle against Jawbreakers. Jawbreakers realizing the threat that they don't want to lose the numbers. They might be on position 1 still. They just raced back, don't want to pick up any battles.
Yep, they don't want to pick up any battle. And I think that's fair, but Team Electro doing what they do best, going out there, landing down, and then taking a fight. And I think that's okay. But Siam Wow, in the meantime, trying to take a fight with GB2L. I think they need to slow down a little, not force the issue whenever it's not required, and just, play the long game, because playing the long game is one of the most important things you can do in this game. And the longer you stay alive, it's a battle royale at the end of the day, right? So if you get in the top 5, maybe then start going YOLO, because if you end up getting top 5 in practically every game you play, maybe fine, sure. One of those games, 1 out of 10 games is when you might actually play as an outlier. You might play very well or very bad. But what really matters is the fact that your decision making should be correct. And if that is correct, you will easily make it to the top 5.
Yeah, that is true. You can easily make it to the top 5, but now the time is quite too less. Last match for the day. Nothing is going to be easy. Everything is going to be sweaty, and I think it is even more sweatier here. Infinity and GB2L are already combating against each other. Look at the HP of Skylight. I don't think even as the health kit to work out with, and Infinity, they are just trying to scout out. They are just trying to scope in. And if we look at Siam Bao's positioning, he is definitely wanting that rush. He's holding P90 in his hand, and SMG's works way better into the close range. That is what Siam Bao is trying to do. Let's see, is he going to be successful though, because cover fire comes from Nobeen first, and it is Let's who uses the chrono shield and is trying to race back. I'm afraid this team cannot race back now. It is now or never situation.
It is a now or never situation for sure, but then Nobin trying to get a couple of frags for himself. He is going to shoot away, and he's going to shoot away freely without restrictions. But Siam, in the meantime, just standing right next to his knockdown opponent. Is he going to be able to push out, though? That is the question. Or is he going to even try and bother finishing him off? I think he shouldn't go out, but this is going to be a mistake. This is definitely going to be a mistake. He's being shot at from like 5 different directions. And while he does go and turn around to try and get a knock, he will actually be taken down from Alpha with an MP40. Kingsman being so far away, tried to give him some backup, but failed really, really bad.
Yeah, they definitely failed real bad. It is all up to Alpha now. Will he survive? Look, nobody has the loots. Everybody just want to pick a fight. Look at the health kit. They don't have only one blue wall to work with. I don't know what pushed them to pick this fight. Alpha still trying to fight it out, battle it out, standing still. Both of them has lost 2 players each. No bin now realizing that we should not lose early on. We should not get eliminated early on. They did not have so much of resources or utilities to pick up this fight, and there was nothing that was forcing them. Maybe they had the advantage of number. They did try to use against the opponent, did not end up in favor. Indeed, it turned into a equal fair trade, and now they are disengaging. Fair, it's okay, but if we talk about Jawbreakers, they are against Team Electro. Team Electro has picked up fight over and over again, repeatedly. This is the 6th match. I must say they have got some courage to pick up fight even when they have lesser of loots. A red zone is just above the heads of Team Agent. Against them, it is going to be Team Zenin, and they have nothing to they have nothing to no sort of hard cover to play with. Let's see how crucial this moments will get, because red zone and opponents both together is equal to double terror.
Yep, opponents with the red zone is just double the terror. But then again, they're waiting it out at the command post, and the command post is a very high density area. There are a lot of teams which want to drop by over there early on, later on in the game. At any point given in the match, right, if the zone covers command post, there will be people there for sure. That is the rule of thumb. And we've seen teams battle out. We've seen a 4-way fight at the command post. So, anything is really possible. Bladers, in the meantime, is going to find a frag on Rohan, who is going to get knocked out. But Sadness, is he going to carry on with the fight? Or is he going to fall back? It does look like he is going to fall back. But in the meantime, Noobi finding a frag for himself and actually getting one more knock onto Sabir. Now, the question is he actually going to finish it? Yeah, indeed. Noobi getting 2 frags for himself. But Sadness, look at that. They're just trying to stay alive over here. Such a struggle to take these fights free. Shooting out of the window. Is it going to survive this fight? Because Electro is right outside now. Jawbreakers could actually push in and get those kills for themselves.
Team Electro has nothing to lose, but Jawbreakers will certainly lose too much if they lose this battle. Sadness is knocked down. Freak is going for another knocks. Let's see, is he going to be successful? And successful enough to break the team, but Team Electro is totally eliminated, and the first team to get eliminated in just 6 minutes to play. So Team Electro picked up land and fight against Jawbreakers. Jawbreakers, knowing that if they lose this match, they might stumble down to Agents. So they were literally struggling. The players were getting knocked down, but team support never stopped. They were able to get those kinds of kills where they were managed to win this battle. And thus, if talking about Jawbreakers, they are still on position 1, but the difference has lessened by Team Agents. They were able to survive a little longer compared to Jawbreakers with only 10 points of difference. Agents are 2, and Team Swag on position number 3. Team Riot still has the chance with 56 points. Team Zenin and Mystics are sharing the score, so it is going to be a tough battle between these 2 teams.
Yep, it is going to be a tough battle between these 2 teams. We have Sabir, who's going to try and take a couple of shots, not dishing out a lot. Oh wait, he actually did get the knock. That was pretty interesting. I assume that he actually did not get the kill because it was so far away, but he did manage to get the knock. He did manage to get the kill. In the meantime, Jamil, who's going to be rotating towards... Wait, hold on. It's Agent in the... okay, Agent going through sub. And I assume they actually wanted to push up, but right now, for now, they're just waiting it out. Tanya, what do you think about the MVP though? Because we have Kazi with 3 kills, MVP of round number 5.
I think Kazi is one of the best players for the team. He is one of the best supporter. And you said into the previous purgatory that this man needs a round of applause, and he himself achieves this. He achieves this round of applause, being the MVP for the battle. I must say, Kazi is a sort of a player. When he is under pressure, he performs even better. This time round, it is Team Riot against them. It is one only player coming from Team Zenin. It is going to be Shupin. I think he is either too far away from his teammates, or he is left alone, or he has just flanked out or overextended. I don't know the exact situation, but Shupin is into a terrible situation. It is going to be blue zone at one side, and either he has to choke through the blue zone, or it is going to be Team Riot who totally eliminates. Let's see what the situation is going to come up, because certainly Shupin has different plans. He doesn't want to move out of the view of container. All you got to do is he's healing himself as long as he can.
Yep, he is healing himself as long as he can. And right now, there's no need to take the fight. But I've always mentioned, in a map like Kalahari, which has so many high ground, low ground fights and so many ridges, high ground actually might not be the best choice at all times. Because imagine a situation like Riot, right? When the zone is going to start pushing them from behind, they'll have to jump down. they want to have an exit. So they need to start moving in right now and forget about the teammate they've left down. So just go down and try and find an opening for yourself. Otherwise, the zone is going to be very annoying. They have 45 seconds. And I believe Alvi wants to go in from behind. He wants to go take the longer route. But I think he has actually spotted Shabir, or has he not?
Sure. Trying to just move, he was just trying to jump and move down. That is where agent spotted him, and on the course of jumping down he got spotted and he is knocked down, and I'm afraid he could not even be saved. They were just threatened with the move coming from Shuwo. Nobody tried to even go there. They realized Shabir with M14, he is giving the best of shots possible, and I must say the shot that Shabir connected, it is not very easy every time. On the move you cannot get that easy knockers. He was like on point, connecting the shot, confirming the kill. Agents are always leveling up with every single match, every single map, every single day. Let's see how far can they go, because tough competition is between two teams. That is going to be Jawbreakers and Team Agents. Team Agents have all 4 players intact with 4 kills. If we talk about Jawbreakers, they are left with 3 players, and this time Zishan is able to get 1 knock, followed by another. Anaf is down, nowhere near. I don't think there's anybody to save this team. That team is Riot, struggling way too hard.
Yep, they are struggling a little too hard. But talking about Agent, Arnob is going to take a couple of shots onto Alvin. Rad has actually been eliminated, position number 11. And now that is something they can't do anything about, because this is the last game of the tournament. Look back and think of it. 11 days, and it all comes down to this last game of the day, and we will have crowned our champions at the end of the game. 10 minutes on the clock, and we have 10 teams, 29 players. On average, 3 players per team. Second zone about to become the third one. And Agent are the kill leaders with 7 kills for themselves. So really, really good to see over there. But apart from that, I guess we have EXE, who is going to be waiting it out on top of the tower, but they have Agent right below them. And I've seen this movie before. I've seen teams fight it out before. I've seen the exact same zone, and it doesn't work out for the team who's right below them.
Absolutely, and they have the table tower. That is the best tower that you can get the exact 360 that you need to. Look at the circle shift. How once again Team Swag, I must say, I don't know with the kills or the numbers, anything. Team Swag has always been into the circle. They have got some good sort of zone prediction, but this time Team Agent is rushing quite a bit early. If Team Extreme X's decide to eliminate Agent will have to take such a loss, which won't be recoverable by any chance. They are trying to go as sneaky as possible, but ultimately it is stable tower where you can get the sneakiest zone on point with the snipers, and each and every player from Extreme X is holding 1 sniper at least. So Team Agents, for now, they have reached the circle, and look how close they are against Team Swag. Zisan is not wanting to pick up fight against Team Swag. Zisan is looking forward Jawbreakers, who are just trying to enter the circle. Let's see if Zisan is going to be successful though, because Zisan needs to be saved. He is extending, and that is like getting on my nerves. I don't want Zisan to die as of now.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to die as of now. But then we have GB2L going out there and taking the fight. Agent are doing so well for themselves now. Only 7 more minutes to go on the clock. And all the teams are going to battle out. We still have 10 teams, which is what I'm really surprised about. Because given the number of players, this should not have been the team count. But Agent, with all their players alive, and sometimes, Tanya, you have this deja vu moment where you know for a fact you've seen the exact same zone, but you just do not know where it ends. And I think this is what happens when you see so many matches so often. And Agent, I think they're going to hold it out. And the next zone is going to end right on them. They'll probably be at the edge while it starts moving in. But Zisan, he wants to push in. The question is he going to get caught off guard, or is he going to be the one initiating the fight?
Let's see what is he going to do, because whatsoever he's doing, he is racing into open, which is a big no for Kalahari. You don't have any hard cover. Certainly they did find one of the containers, but once the zone starts to close in, they'll have to shift. And look at their positioning. They have a team who's just behind them, which is going to be Extreme X's, and now they are trying to pick up fight against Extreme X's. The rotation which Team Agent took, I must say it was good. They went ahead, and certainly now they are trying to fall back. And Ambush Esports, they are holding a hill right now with 3 players alive, 1 kill confirmed, and now they can certainly damage one of the team, which can be Team Swag. They have the exact angle for that. Let's see. If we look currently, nobody is willing to pick up fights. They'll pick up fights once they are forced to, but that force will be decided by the circle shift.
Yeah, the force will be decided by the circle shift. That is true indeed. But Jawbreakers, ooh, look at that shot by Sadness. The newbie is going to fall down, and that was so good coming in from Sadness. And having the Groza to work with, he just destroyed him. The first shot itself was a headshot. But Jawbreakers, they've been doing so well for themselves. All they need to do is get in the top 5. That's it. Everything else will just fall into place, and then Sadness getting confirming the kill as a matter of fact for himself. And Agent is fighting with GB2R, which is just making Jawbreakers' life easy. But Agent, they have 8 kills. And imagine they end up getting a Booyah with like 12 or 14 kills. Imagine that situation.
That's be even more strong. They only have difference of 11 points compared to Jawbreakers. So if they are able to get a Booyah and 11 count, maybe they can win this, because now my heartbeat is already raising too much. We are just 3 minutes down to get the champion out of Free Fire Bangladesh Championship. Let's see what is Arnab up to. He's using the grenade launcher to give some damage to Center MD. And they get the knock. But certainly the player might get revived until and unless Zone takes a close call and Hamim tries to just race out and not save. Certainly that was not the case of scenario. The player is safe, but I must say the grenade launcher jump and shoot was the action, and it connected very good. Arnab this time around is not dead, is alive, confirmed few more kills. Is in Zishan confirming the last man standing, which is Hamim this time. 12 kills already. One player coming behind them, which is going to be from Team Zenon, deciding to take a longer rotation. Agent Zishan trying to damage Ambush Esports into the counter fire. Zishan is down. Usage of Chrono and Blue Wall is going to save them for now, and in the course Zenon is eliminated.
Yep, in the core, Zenon is eliminated, but Dagon, look at him though. Look at him go. He gets the first knock. Can you find the second as well? Jamil is going to fall down, but the trade from Zishan was so quick. Now this is where they get the opportunity to revive their fallen teammate, but Gunshot is going to get knocked down over there. And we had Ambush Esports Reflex is setting up the perfect ambush, and Agent with 12 kills are suddenly reduced to only one man standing. The other one already knocked. Now the question is, can Agent keep up with the pressure and go and get in the top 3, or maybe go for the podium finish? But, well, Arnab is the only guy surviving, but Zisan, again, 6 kills for the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend. And look at Arnab, he's just waiting it out. He just needs to take the shot at the perfect position and maybe get the knock. But both these players were eliminated because they fell down to their death. But right now, Arnab doesn't want to stop. He wants to go out there and take that fight, and now he's doing his level best to isolate these fights into a 1v1, but Reflex is going to find one for himself. Can he find the second as well? Now the question is, Arnab needs to stay alive because, okay, he does actually manage to get that. Are you kidding me? Agent EXP with the Booyah in the last game and 14 kills. How does this happen? How does this happen?
It was much necessary Booyah, Mamba. It was much necessary Booyah. So the counting is getting way more tougher. As I just said, I have a little bit of tachycardia, maybe I have, and this sort of fight coming from Team Agent, I'm hyped up as well, just as you are. The viewers are hyped up as well, because now we are going to see the highlights though real soon. But before that, the viewers, what do you think? Was it enough coming from Team Agent to take away the title of Free Fire Bangladesh champion? Because all they wanted was to reach out to 10 points extra. They were able to get a Booyah. They were able to get 12 kills, but still, was it enough to get the championship title?
Well, that is a question that we'll find an answer to soon enough, but it's incredible. It's been an incredible journey, but look at Agent. When it was the most important, they actually stepped up. And talking about the replays as well, Sadness over here getting those frags for himself. I still remember, the way this fight was going on, I was already talking about some other team, but Jawbreakers, they pushed out. They were not scared. And once they went out, they got these kills for themselves, and Electro actually fell so quickly. It felt like they were a deck of cards. And that's what happened. But Sadness wasn't finished over there, was he? Well, it wasn't. So they survived. Agent, in the meantime, they had all the players up. But Zisan played it so well. Look at that second follow-up shot. A headshot as a follow-up shot is not easy to hit. But Zisan does manage to do the impossible.
Yeah, absolutely. Zishan was able to take the kills every single time. One shot in one knock every time worked, but the grenade launcher over here worked wonders. They were able to take one player down, which definitely Extreme X is they might be into some panicky situation as the zone was also closing in. Somehow, somewhere they did manage to revive the teammate over here, but then comes Zishan, who is just shooting through the glue walls, dealing so much of damage over here. And over here, one more player gets down. This time around, it was Arnav who is confirming the kills, and Zisan takes down the last man standing, which is Hamim. And over here, we were down to and look at Team Swag's leap. They were dying. They were dying with the zone and the jump damage that they were trying to take. But Arnab had the patience. I always told, right? If Arnab is alive, Team Agent can still take the booyah. Every time we did see this team was getting eliminated, but they were this time Arnab eliminated Jawbreakers, and then the last man standing was also eliminated. So it was second booyah coming from Team Agents. I must say Arnab had the courage to play with patience, because when the circle is closing in, you get into the panicky situation. He was not. He was calm. He was waiting the players to take a close in and eliminate player by player. He was very sorted that which player does he want to eliminate first, and then followed by another. He was not at all there was no sort of confusion on his angles of shots.
There was no sort of confusion. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk a lot more about this. But for now, right now, it's time for a very short break. Do not go anywhere, because we still have the numbers to crunch for you guys.
ও ভাই একাই এখন বেঁচে আছে, যার হাতে পেরা পাল গানটা আমরা দেখলাম, এন্ড টিম ইলেক্ট্রোর গান কম্বিনেশন আমার চমৎকার লাগতেছে, কারণ ওদের অনেকজনের হাতে যেমন টিম সিট আছে আমরা দেখতেছি।
ইয়েস রিঙ্কু ভাই, এখানে কিন্তু যেটা জিনিস বলার অপেক্ষা রাখে না, সেটা হচ্ছে যে ইলেক্ট্রোর উপরে কম হইলো।
এখন বলি, আমরা হয়তো আমরা মিনিমাম খেয়াল করছি টিম 5 ছিল উপরে, টিম 5 এর পাল্লায় জেবিটুয়েল পড়ে গেছে। এখানে যেখানে ইনফিনিটি জেবিটুয়েল
দিয়ে বলা যায়। তো এখানে টিম রায়ট কিন্তু প্রচন্ড অ্যাগ্রেসিভ, তারা দুইজন ডাবল ভেক্টর নিয়েছে এবং ডাবল ভেক্টরের খেলা কিন্তু আমরা দেখছি দুজনের কাছ থেকে। ওকে, এখানে কিন্তু রায়ট মারুফ কিন্তু ডাউন, তাকে হিল করা হবে হয়তো, বা হিল করে ফেলা পসিবল হবে। টিম সায়ানাইট করছে, টিম সায়ানাইটের সাথে কিন্তু আমরা দেখছি 12 নম্বর টিমও একটু দূরে আছে। তো এখানে কিন্তু টিম সায়ানাইট ভার্সেস রায়ট একটা ফাইট দিচ্ছে। রায়ট কিন্তু কোনো ম্যানকে এখনো পর্যন্ত হারায় নাই, সায়ানাইটে কিন্তু একজন মেম্বার নাই, আমরা সেটা জানি, একটু আগেই দেখেছি। তো দেখা যাক এখানে কিন্তু ওকে ওকে হ্যালো পিপল, কি অবস্থা সবার? চলে এসেছি এফএফবিসি 2021 এর একেবারে ফাইনালে, গ্র্যান্ড ফাইনালের দিনে কিন্তু আমরা চলে এসেছি। আপনাদের সাথে আছি আমি আহমেদ অনন্য মাসুদ, আমাদের সাথে আছে সারফারাজ, বুচার্স আউটল এবং ইলিউশনিস্ট ভাই। হ্যালো এভরিওয়ান।
হ্যালো,
কি
হ্যালো,
খবর
হ্যালো।
সবার?
তো
এই তো
গাইস
রিঙ্কু ভাই ভালো আছি। কি অবস্থা আপনার?
এই তো ভালো আছি সারফরাজ। বুচার ভাই কি খবর আপনার?
ভালো আছি। আপনাদের কি অবস্থা?
এই তো নাইস।
আচ্ছা, তো গাইস আমরা হচ্ছে যে ফাইনালে চলে আসছি। ফাইনালের 12 টা টিম কিন্তু আমরা অলরেডি জেনে গিয়েছি। আমরা সবার উদ্দেশ্যে একবার 12 টা টিমকে বলে দিব। আমাদের সাথে আজকে ফাইনালে ফাইট করবে B26, আমাদের সাথে ফাইট করবে অ্যাম্বুশ স্পোর্টস, টিম রায়োট, GB12, টিম জেনন, টিম এক্সট্রিমেক্স, টিম ইলেকট্রো, টিম ইনফিনিটি, এজেন্ট, দ্য জবব্রেকার্স, টিম রেজ অ্যান্ড টিম সোয়াগ। সো এই 12 টা টিম আছে এবং আজকে কিন্তু তারা তাদের প্রত্যেকেই কিন্তু যেই ফাইনাল যে মুকুট বা ফাইনাল যে শিরোপা চ্যাম্পিয়ন, সেই ট্রফির জন্য কিন্তু সবাই লড়বে। সো ডু ইউ গাইস এনি ফেভারিট হ্যাভ টুডে? রিকু ভাই।
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Free Fire Bangladesh Championship. My name is Anjeet Mama Senior Patel. Alongside me is Star Tanya. But talking about the numbers, I'm really excited to crush them. But at the same time, what a tournament has it been! 11 days of mind-blowing action, groaning for the teams, but a lot of fun for the viewers. And us casters had a ball, walking you guys through every single moment. The entire talent roster, be it Bengali, be it Bangla, or of course, English desk. It's just been such a wild journey to see all these teams grow into the legends they are today. And of course, the last game, Zisan going absolutely crazy. And I believe Zisan has to be the breakout player for the entire tournament. If there's one player who impressed me the most, out of all the teams, all the players that played in this game, in this tournament, was Zisan for sure.
Definitely, Zishan has played better and better with every single match. And final match, he nailed it the best he could. Let's head towards the match recap. By far, we did have, as always, 6 matches. 2 booyahs coming from Bermuda. Both of them were won by B26 Mystic. One purgatory by Agent X's. But yes, Agent X's were able to get 2 booyahs here as well for round 6 Kalahari. One booyah coming from Jawbreakers. One booyah coming from Team Extreme X's. But the main question is going to be, even after 2 booyah, has Agent done enough to win against Jawbreakers? Because it was ultimately these two teams battling, not only today, the battle was always on from day one. How we always used to talk that there are 2, 3 teams which are going to have a cutthroat competition, neck to neck competition, a very difficult one. So for the final day, also, we are left with the same situation, but it is into the multiplied by millions and zillions. Talking about millions and zillions, we have a beautiful big prize, which is Bangladeshi takas, 25 lakh worth of a prize pool. And let's see who is going to back this out. Definitely with a name and fame, you also want something that motivates you, and this sort of money motivates every single player. So this sort of play coming from the players, let's hope this tournament brings a lot of change into the esports world in Bangladesh as well.
Well, it is definitely going to bring a change, and the way these players have played, they've already, I assume, motivated the next generation of free fire players in the country. So there's no doubt about the fact that this is going to change the esports landscape in the entire country. But what is even more, pleasing is the fact that 25 lakh BDT, the prize pool, and then these teams battling it out. Of course, money is important, but it is something which is secondary. Right now, I'm going to talk about the champions of the tournament. I'm going to see it is Agent EXP, which overtook Jawbreakers in the end, and it was all because of the performance in the last game. The way they played was brilliant, and I can't wait to see the scoreboard. Was it 1 point, 2 point, or 3 points? Question is, if it was 1 point, Tanya, how bad is Jawbreakers going to feel?
Agent X for being the champions of Free Fire Bangladesh Championship 2021. Heartiest congratulations to each and every player, but certainly I would say very good job coming from Zisan himself. And here we are with the scoreboard with a maybe minimal margin. Agent EXP with 2 booyahs, a total of 86, and Jawbreakers losing. We cannot say losing, but not gaining the championship title with only 1 point. I am stunned. This score, this was expected by the play of Arnab, made it easier for Team Agent for getting that. Every booyah counts, and certainly look at the kill difference. Placement points equal, kill points only one higher. That is how Team Agents are the tall standing champions for 2021, followed by Team Swag on position 3 with 74, Team Riot on position 56, B26 Mystics, even with the 2 booyah, they are on position 5, and Team Extreme X's, we can say they were good enough, fair enough, with 49 points of score. So overall, the journey had been as of a roller coaster. Some days went very good, some days went quite too low for certain teams, but there were few teams who were always consistent, always flawless, played the best they could. But look at the amount of competition. 1 point, and the championship titles is in the hands of Agent EXP.
That is true, but look at that though. 1 point, and that's it. And when I said, imagine if it's 1 point, I was just merely predicting it. I didn't know if it was a 1 point difference or a 5 point difference. I knew for a fact it was going to be close because Jawbreakers had a very, very good lead. But the kind of play that Zisan and, of course, at the end, Ornob, made is what made all the difference. And I've mentioned this before. Ornob is the guy he's the glue that binds the team together. Sure, Zisan got 6 frags and put his team in this position, but it doesn't matter if you come up to the finish line and don't cross it. So Ornob did a wonderful job. He did a magnificent job of seeing his team across the finish line, and that is the reason why they are the Bangladesh champions. But so close, Tanya, so close. I can only imagine what is going to be the plight of Jawbreakers, and imagine 1 missed kill. Just imagine that. That's gonna hurt. And if I was a Jawbreaker fan or a Jawbreaker player, I would not be able to sleep tonight.
Yeah. I mean, 1 point of difference and not getting the title, it matters a lot. Every point counts, every kill counts. But one match, it was Team Riot, right, who were able to gatekeep Jawbreakers with the grenade launcher. Maybe that was the match changer where they could not go ahead. But anyway, we do have the best of teams. Everybody played best. And once again, a heartiest congratulations to Team Agent and all the players. Congratulations for winning this, for participating, and for upcoming future updates. Who doesn't want to know what's up, what's in the news? All you got to do is just follow the social medias of Free Fire Official. It is going to be Bangladesh Free Fire Official for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as TikTok.
Yep, BD official Free Fire, and it's incredible to see the way the audience has reacted. They came on big numbers. And the last time I checked, I think it was more than 35, 37, or 40,000, if I'm not mistaken. And 30,000 was the average. So it's incredible to see all the love and all the support. And to all the viewers out there, thanks so much for joining with us and showing us so much love throughout the journey of the tournament. Not just today. All these 11 days have been so good. And sure, while we do it, we love our jobs. It's not as fruitful unless there is a loving audience watching us. And to all you people out there, thank you so much for all the love and the support. And of course, we're not just going to walk away like that. We are going to talk about the redeem code, which is something that is so patiently waited for. Because who doesn't love a skin or two? So let's have the redeem code on the screen. But make sure, ladies and gentlemen, you redeem it by 11:59 or by midnight tonight, because it's only valid until midnight. So you need to go to reward.ff.karina.com, and then the code is FFBCLQ6S7W25. And go to the reward website, redemption website, and you can walk away with a free skin.
Yeah, definitely. This is a token of love coming directly from Garena for spending time with us as viewers. So you have shown tremendous amount of support through chatting, through viewing, and not only us, you have been supporting a lot to the players, to the teams, and these maybe this was a passive support, but these sort of supports, prayers maybe works wonders for the team those are playing. So your support has made it easier for the players as well. So thank you for joining us in.
So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it from our side. And to all the viewers who've actually been throughout the journey, have been with us throughout the journey, once again, love you all. Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys around the next one. Peace out.